and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes face the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. Hurricanes on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 924. Flyers on Internet 940. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Monday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes face the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. Hurricanes on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 924. Flyers on Internet 940. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is Sirius XM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. Sirius XM NBA Radio, Sirius XM 86.
In the summer of 1997, the New York Rangers tried to sign away Joe Sakic from the Colorado Avalanche, and owner of the Avs at that time, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Sakic. Stopping by Sirius XM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91, Lyons was on to talk with Steve Kouleas from the Power Play about his initial reaction to the news of New York offering Sakic $15 million up front in their deal.
I remember the summer of 1997, the Rangers have offer sheeted Joe Sakic. It's a 3-year deal, $21 million, $15 million up front. I remember that part. Joining us now is Charlie Lyons, the Avs CEO. The big honcho at the time joins me on the Power Play. So where were you, Charlie, when you first heard the news? Did you fall off your chair?
Well, I didn't fall off my chair, but I left my heart in San Francisco. The phone rang. It was Mark Kisla, who terrific journalist that was always sort of ahead of stories. And he said, "Hey, what do you think about the offer sheet for Joe Sakic for $21 million with 15 up front? How you doing?" Your mind goes to, he's obviously kidding. He wants something else, but he wasn't kidding. And so, it's a punch. I was getting ready to go on vacation, so that's the right time to slam somebody. And that's what it was. So I was a neighbor, my dear friend Pierre Lacroix, collaborator, lived across the cul-de-sac. So we met at the center of the cul-de-sac, and he just gave me this look like, wow, who'd have thunk? And then, what are you going to do? What's your plan, big guy? Because that's a lot of money. 30 years ago, that kind of contract was destabilizing, to say the least. And also, Dave Checkins has done his homework, right? That they had been smart enough to, because we were publicly traded and we were a young company. He looked at the balance sheet and said, look how much money they have in the bank. So we offer $1 more. That's going to knock their company on their ear. They're going to have to take 5 picks. So, given that he had Richter and he had, the greatest player of all time, Wayne Gretzky, and by the way, Joe Sakic's idol, that was going to be a powerful team. And having just lost Messier, he needed to do something. And so he did the right thing. He said, what the heck? There's a chance they aren't going to be able to pull it off. And at least I'm making an effort. And so I felt pretty beat up, candidly.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes face the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. Hurricanes on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 924, Flyers on Internet 940. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes face the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. Hurricanes on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 924, Flyers on Internet 940. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Monday, May the 4th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL playoffs, the Carolina Hurricanes face the Philadelphia Flyers at 7 p.m. Hurricanes on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 924, Flyers on Internet 940. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on SiriusXM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987 Canada, or not Canada Cup. That was still to come.
That was
but the 1987, that wasn't Game 7, but that was an all-decider as well, as we know. But for Game 7, yeah, that was pretty good stuff. But 87 in the Stanley Cup Final, you're facing Philadelphia. You're up 3-1 in the series. They come back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game, only to realize that winning a championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in a Game 7, and then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past. And so everything's at stake, everything's on the line. And I think luckily for us, we're able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty. And sure enough, we're able to win our 3rd cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
I'm Frank Track.
America pregame show on the Flyers Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. Everything that rocks.
You're listening to 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. Now, it's time for Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
Winning games in the playoffs often comes down to adjustments made, and Rick Tocchet and the Flyers have some real challenges now, trying to slow down the only team in the Eastern Conference that's won every game. Tonight, they try to come up with some answers in Game 2 against the Canes. It's the Flyers and Hurricanes from Lenovo Center in Raleigh, and it's coming up next.
This is Philadelphia Flyers hockey.
Shot deflected, they score!
Philadelphia Flyers hockey is brought to you by your local tri-state Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go Flyers. By Independence Blue Cross, Xfinity, Next Gen Hyperbaric, Serve Pro, Wegmans, NBC Sports Philadelphia, Penn Medicine, FW Webb, and by Bank of America. Now, it's time for the countdown to Face Off. Here are Tim Saunders and Todd Fedorik on the Flyers Broadcast Network.
Nothing Carolina did came as a surprise in the series opener, but how the Flyers react will be the story of this series. Tonight, they get the chance in Game 2 to counter the Canes. A pleasant good evening and welcome to Flyers hockey action again with Todd Fedorik. I'm Tim Saunders. Carolina swept the physical Ottawa Senator team in the first round. They didn't play in a system that really no one else plays. Pressure all over the ice. The Canes use that forecheck to force turnovers and counter offensively, and it can give opponents fits as it did the Flyers on Saturday. Frigid takes quick reaction and poise under pressure to make plays, and that's going to be the Flyers' challenge the rest of this series.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're going to have to make sure that when they're making plays, they're quick plays, they're transition plays, and they're going north. They're not going to go east and west. They got to make sure that they get east and west plays through the neutral zone as well. That gives some trouble. It opens up the middle of the ice, and that's the one thing. That first game was a little bit overwhelming for the Philadelphia Flyers. They got caught on their heels because they just didn't have the start. It's going to be a different start tonight for the Philadelphia Flyers. And that's what I'm excited to see about how they begin this game.
Well, one Flyer that we thought stood out the other night, their smallest forward, Denver Barkey, had the energy and the motor that made him their best player in Game 1, to the point that they put him in the middle late in the contest, and that's where they're going to start him tonight between Alex Bump and Porter Martone.
The young studs are getting a chance to play together. I like this. There's going to be energy on that line, and listen, Barkey did a really good job moving into the middle of the ice, and I think what's going to be to his advantage is how quick he is, but how he's going to support. He's going to be real low in the defensive zone. That's going to help the D-men. He's going to be an outlet there to get things going north, and I think he's pretty smart. He's a pretty cerebral player, and obviously he's going to be hounding that puck. That's why he's in the middle of the ice.
Well, there's no question this hurts. The Flyers are still going to be without their fastest, most physical forward, Owen Tippett. Huge loss, especially against this Carolina Hurricane team. Looks like Carl Grundstrom is going to make his Flyers playoff debut. He'll come in on the fourth line, but that top line is going to have Zegras playing the wing with Dvorak and Travis Konechny.
Yeah, and that's a different look, but we know Zegras has had some success. He's a little more comfortable on that side. Maybe it's to get Konechny going as well, too. Dvorak and Konechny are two veterans on this team, and Trevor Zegras is a playmaker. We need more out of those guys. The leaders on this team got to start to pull the rope a little bit more, show the young guys how to do this. You can only depend on your youth so much, but I think that's going to be a line where you're going to depend on a lot from those guys.
We talked the other night about how the game has kind of changed over the years. If you were a small guy, you really didn't play center in this league. Logan Stankoven is an example that it can be done, and that's kind of in mind when they move Denver Barkey there.
Yeah, there's some guys that come in and play in positions that are out of the mold, right? Centermans are usually the big centerman, right? You got a little guy, teams have to adjust to that. The other thing is he plays bigger than his size. That's the key thing. If you're gonna be a smaller guy, right? It doesn't mean you can't play. You just got to play differently. You got to play and use your skill and your size to your advantage. Those bigger guys, you're going to have more ice out there.
Well, Stankoven is clearly the hottest player on the planet right now. He's got 6 goals in 5 playoff games, playing with Taylor Hall and Jackson Blake, and that second line has been the epitome of what Rod Brindamore preaches.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to shut that line down. They're quick. They do things the right way. They don't go outside of their system, and they play well together. A lot of the goals that those guys are producing are off of shots or plays from behind the net into the middle of the ice with guys coming downhill. They like to score off the rush, but shutting them down is critical right now, because really, that's the line that is producing most of the offense for Carolina.
Fridge, the other thing the Flyers probably didn't do enough of in Game 1 was make life miserable for Freddie Anderson. They got to go hard to the net tonight.
Yeah, they got to go to the hard areas. They got to be those annoying little players, a little bit of stuff, not necessarily the scrums. Don't worry about the scrums, but go there, stop in front of them, and be relentless in those areas and plays around the net. They had some success getting the puck deep behind the net and then making plays around close around the goal line on Freddie Anderson. That's what they're going to have to focus on tonight.
Flyers have only scored 5 goals in the last 4 games, so finding more offense may come down to beating Carolina at its own game. Flyers and Canes are coming up. It's Game 2 of this Eastern Conference semifinal. We'll take the break, come back with the starting lineups, the opening face-off when we return on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
This has been the Flyers Countdown to Face-Off on 93.3 WMMR. Everything that rocks.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Stick check. It's snack time, Flyers fans. So ditch those tiny, bland, boring mozzarella sticks and level up with Big Mott's. Made with 100% whole milk mozzarella and real fresh ingredients. We've raised the bar on flavor, so whether you're at the arena for the game or making a pit stop at Wegmans, Big Mott's sticks deliver the crispy, cheesy perfection you need. Stick check. Pick up Big Mott's at the Flyers game or Wegmans and taste what you've been missing.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Hear Preston and Steve mornings on MMR and watch the show free on YouTube.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets are red, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From Lenovo Center in Raleigh, it's the Flyers and the Carolina Hurricanes. The two teams face off in Game 2 of this Eastern Conference semifinal.
Starting goaltenders. Carolina Hurricanes are starting a 31, Frederik Andersen. 5 wins, a goals against average of .90, save percentage of .961. For the Philadelphia Flyers, Dan Vladar, number 8, he's getting the start. 7 games, 4 wins, 3 losses, a goals against average of .182 and a save percentage of .928. Referees are Francois Charon and Gord Dwyer. And the linesmen are Shandor Alfonso and Ryan Daisy.
Well, it's the old thing in the playoffs. The team that's making changes is not the team that won the last game. Flyers are going to be the one that makes some changes, and their new top line is going to start with Trevor Zegras on the wing, Christian Dvorak in the middle, and Travis Konechny on the other side. Forster, Cates, and Michkov. It'll be Bump, Barkey, and Porter Martone. And Carl Grundstrom comes in to join Couturier and Luke Glendening on the Flyers' fourth line. Emil Andre also in defensively, and he'll be on that third pair with Nick Cedar. Jordan Staal comes in to take the opening faceoff against Christian Dvorak. The Canes win, and Game 2 is underway. Jaden Chatfield plays it up the right side. It deflected into the crowd right behind the Flyer bench. And we'll get our first whistle 8 seconds in. Well, the Flyers are the only team in the playoffs that don't yet have a first period goal. Carolina has not allowed a first period goal in these postseason.
You're saying they're due, Tim.
Yeah, you're right. Flyers would like to see what it's like to actually play with the lead early in a game. A centering pass picked off at the side of the net, scooped out of danger by Cam York, and the Flyers will lay it in wide of the Carolina cage. Chatfield goes back for that in front of Zegras, plays it around to the right side. Coming in from the point, York upends a man. It's back into the Philadelphia end, and Staal tried to turn it in front. Played away by Trevor Zegras, actually Drysdale, all the way back to the Kane line. Carolina changing, Flyers follow suit. We're just underway here in Game 2. Here's Keandre Miller. Gives it to Sean Walker. Headman's up the left wing, way out of the reach of Stankoven. The Flyers in transition. Here's Cates up the right wing, and he missed Forster. It goes in behind the net. Walker plays it hard around, and a clearing attempt. Stankoven does shovel it out to center. Jumping in on the play is Keandre Miller now. On the right wing, Taylor Hall turns on the wall and plays it out left point. Stankoven covering here. Throw it toward the net, but right to a Flyer, and Sanheim is able to clear. Stankoven fired it back in, and Vladar picked it up late, went right by his ear.
Yeah, that head moved pretty quick. He did not see that till the last second. Wasn't on net, but still.
Upended Ristolainen in the corner, lost control, swept it out in front of his own net. Stankoven plays it left point. Slavin looking for the tip of the side of the goal, and it deflected up over the net by Jackson Blake. Flyers finally recover in their own zone. Ristolainen ahead, deflected in by Couturier, but the Canes lift it right back out. pushed ahead by Will Carrier. Here's Robinson with a shot, and a first good glove save by Dan Vladar. Knocked it away. All the way back into the Carolina and Philadelphia getting fresh legs. Slavin to Chatfield up the right wing, deflected in by Svechnikov, and Carolina's got part of their first line out onto the ice. Here's Philadelphia breaking around a man. Denver Barkey protected the puck well, but up that left wing, the Flyers are ruled offside at the Carolina blue line.
Well, Carolina, much of the same, but for the Philadelphia Flyers, I like the play down low. You can see already that low play. They're using it as an outlet and trying to get up north. That's a big adjustment that they've already made, and they're executing it fine. They're coming out of their zone a little easier, and it's just from a simple little 5-foot area pass.
Shane Gostisbehere, the former Flyer, bounces it to the Philadelphia line, and the Flyers gain control. Here's Denver Barkey, curls into the middle, lost it in traffic, and the Canes take over. Mike Riley came into the lineup for the first time in these playoffs in Game 1, had a couple of assists. Rink wide pass, there's a shot, and Bladar's got to make that save into the near corner. Trying to protect the puck is Sebastian Aho. On the end wall, tip him behind the net. Svechnikov couldn't get there. Alex Bump has him on his hip, able to fight through traffic and get it out to center ice. Bump now cuts back across the grain into the Kane and outnumbered. His 3 Carolina defenders got a piece of him. Gostisbehere took a hit from Konechny in deep, but the Canes are able to clear it back into the Philadelphia zone. That's going to be icing called here against the Canes. So the Flyers trying to set the tempo physically here early.
A nice little rush by Bump through the neutral zone. Not looking to make a pass. He's looking to do it all himself, and that's a good decision. He gets it in. Evades a nice hit, too. Somebody had him lined up. I'm not sure who that was for Carolina. But Bump got out of the way. And the other thing is he finished the play by getting it deep. That's critical.
Zegras now is going to come and take this faceoff, and it looks like he and Dvorak will share those faceoff duties. Swept away by Carolina, and here's Seth Jarvis racing up the ice. Philadelphia in the zone. Sanheim tried to force him into the corner. Dvorak got a piece of him. It's rolled in behind the net. Centering pass, and missing at point-blank range was Jordan Staal. Great play by Svechnikov. Actually, Nick Ehlers to get it out in front. And Staal just inches away from giving Carolina the early lead. Konechny bumped him from behind, but the puck goes back to the Carolina blue line, and then they flip it in the air. It actually hit the camera above the penalty box, and it's whistled down.
Oh, big first test for Dan Vladar. Up to the task. Big stop there from a dangerous area, so a little bit of a power play for the Philadelphia Flyers. They're going to call this one out.
Yeah, I nonchalantly said it hit the camera. That is out of play.
The ref signaled. He signaled it went out, but the other ref might have called it. He did signal that it tipped.
It's above the glass, that camera, so apparently it didn't hit a stick on the way out, and it is a delay of game penalty, so Philadelphia gets the first power play.
Well, this is a big opportunity for the Philadelphia Flyers. On the power play,
3:25, the time of the first penalty on Carolina, and Philadelphia wins the draw. Drysdale got it into the left wing corner. Here's Tyson Forster. He's got Cates in front. Drysdale got it to him. Cates makes his way into the middle and trying to get a backhand shot on goal. Carolina got a stick on that. Cates picks it up. Unable to get it to Zegras in the corner. Batted away. The bouncing puck gets away from Cates. And the Canes roll it into the corner. Here's Zegras looking in front. Cross ice, and Carolina got a stick on that. Deflecting it out to center. Flyers turn right back in. Travis Konechny carries in up the line, gave the right wing. Zegras in front. Forcer unable to settle the bouncing puck. Into the slot, Jamie Drysdale shoots. He scores! Jamie Drysdale on the power play. Wires one top into the top end corner. His second goal of the playoffs. And Philadelphia had their first period goal of this series. And in this playoff year, the Flyers take the early lead.
Really nice play. Drysdale coming downhill. This is a good transition play. They gain entry. Tyson Forster actually picks it up in his body and has the wherewithal to get his stick on it, make a play. Otherwise, this is a dead play. It finds its way back to Drysdale on a rebound, and he makes no mistake burying this one. Great shot, great opportunity for the Flyers to capitalize on the power play, and they get it done, Tim.
That's the 7th goal by a Flyer defenseman in these playoffs. Easily the most of any team in the league. And the Flyers draw first blood finally. So Drysdale has his second. 4:02 the time of the goal. And it was Freddie Anderson, the goaltender, that kind of got his stick on it and pushed it right to Jamie Drysdale in the slot. Luke Glendening fighting for it deep on the end wall. He's pinned there, and Carolina gains control. Rasmus Ristolainen knocked it down on the wall. Couturier had it spun past him. And with a clearing attempt, Riley Karam going off a flyer, finds it again, but lost control. Here's a bad angle shot, runs from in behind the net, in front, they score! It's Sean Couturier at point-blank range. He pounds in his first goal of the playoffs, and less than 5 minutes into the opening period, the Flyers lead it 2-0.
Great work down low. Philadelphia Flyers are getting the puck down below that goal line and going to work. Using plays down low, Couturier, just a big body in front. Anderson's down already early on this, but the play comes from behind the net. A missed pass in front, but Grunstrom works to get it out front. And Couturier, uncontested in front of that net, bangs it home.
2 goals in 39 seconds. Power play goal by Drysdale, then even strength. Grunstrom gets the assist on Sean Couturier's first of the playoffs. And the Flyers jump in front here early in this opening period.
Well, they needed to start, Tim, and boy, did they get it. They've got to continue now. 5 minutes in.
Drysdale behind his own net. So the Flyers finally get a quick start to a game. Here's Porter Martone backhanding one at the center ice, and unable to find that was Denver Barkey. Carolina pounces on a loose puck. Jackson Blake over the line, gives it up. Stankoven couldn't get that shot through, and Philadelphia's bump will use the glass to clear. At center ice, Carolina starts again from their own line. Up the middle, Stankoven lifts it in. He's angled to the far wall. Emil Andre picks it up. Dropped it back behind his own net, and Jamie Drysdale looks up ice. And carried out is Denver Barkey. Barkey overskates it, regains control, and then couldn't hit. Bump with a pass. So Carolina recovers in their own zone. So 2 goals just past the 4.5-minute mark of this opening period. And Philadelphia leads it 2-0. Svechnikov skips one in on net. Wide of the goal, it's kicked into the corner. Tipped back into the slot. Forster bats it by a man, and now it's got some skating room up that left wing. He'll send it in deep into the Carolina end. Cates in on the forecheck on the end board. Forster fighting for control. Chatfield went down. Cates has got control, and he plays it out right point. Emil Andre gives it up on the wall. Michkov back to Andre, and it hopped over his stick. That'll go to the far corner. Philadelphia's Forster is upended. The puck is underneath him as Svechnikov dishes it away. Michkov tried to find Cates with a pass, but Carolina intercepts, and they come out at center. Offside at the Philadelphia line. The Canes are about 10 feet offside, and they blow it down. So we get a timeout on the ice. 13:44 to go in the opening period, but the Flyers have the first 2 goals of the game on the Philadelphia Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
All the action on the ice giving you the chills? Break away to the hottest game in town, Delilah's. Let the world's most beautiful showgirls warm you up as you claim the game on Delilah's giant video walls. Or skate in after the game. Your ticket stub gives you free admission. Ready for a real power play? Come to Delilah's, voted America's #1 gentleman's club. Just off Delaware Avenue and just out of this world. Delilah's, where body checking is a way of life. Details now at delilahs.com.
Playoff hockey in Philly hits different, and Acme knows it. Born in Philadelphia in 1891, Acme's been the go-to neighborhood grocer for Philly sports fans ever since. Through every shift, save, and playoff run, and from pregame meals to postgame celebrations, we're proud to serve the city that never stops believing. Acme, Philly born in 1891, proudly serving our hometown communities for 135 years.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
Download the latest WMMR app and take us with you wherever you go.
Become a Flyers season ticket member for the 2026-27 season and gain immediate access to tickets for this Flyers Stanley Cup playoffs at the lowest available price. Text plans to 61259 to learn more.
Fridge, the Canes had designs on becoming just the 4th team in playoff history to never trail in the first 6 games of a playoff year. That went by the wayside quickly. 4:02 in, Drysdale in the power play. They're calling that goal unassisted after Anderson kind of poked it back to him. And then Sean Couturier, 39 seconds later, makes it 2-zip Flyers. Great start, exactly what the Flyers were hoping for here, as they're going to be charged for icing as the puck goes back into the Carolina end.
Well, some noticeable changes. Obviously, all 4 forward lines are different combinations. Seems to be working out. Rick Tocchet over the course of the season has put pairs together. He knows which lines combinations work, which players work together, and that bodes well when you need to kind of rely on some changes that need to happen because of injuries. But getting that puck deep in and then moving it from behind the goal line directly out of the zone is one big adjustment that the Flyers are executing well tonight so far.
Yeah, everybody talked about the Canes forecheck. Flyers, they can get their own forecheck going, spend less time in their own zone. This is going to be a different series. Back at the left point, here's Slavin with a shot. Blockered away by Dan Vladar. Stahl wraps it in behind the net. Chatfield seals that wall and scooped it in behind the net again. Jordan Stahl tried to stuff it back out in front. Upended there. The Kane forward Martinook, and the Flyers Konechny lays it up the right side. It's knocked out of the air by Slavin, and that forces Philadelphia in offside.
Well, no extra passes coming through the neutral zone. Travis Konechny likes to get that puck to another guy and then get his feet moving, but he elects to carry it. Defensive zone all the way through in a properly well-placed chip.
Konechny has not played that much with Trevor Zegras this year that I can remember. I mean, it's happened a few times, but that's not been a record or made.
That's a new little pairing.
Here's Andre from deep in his own zone, lays it high into the air, back into the Carolina end. Dawson Spears back for that. Grundstrom closes the gap there. This is Carl Grundstrom's 18th career playoff game. Knocked out of the air at the line by Cedar. Andre looking for skating room through the middle. Picks his way to the Carolina line before he was stripped. Flyers gain control and trying to throw it at the net. Grundstrom. He'll go in after it and hammers a man into the corner. That was Mark Jankowski. And that's a quick way for Grundstrom to show he was ready for this opportunity. Already set up a goal, and he's throwing the body around. Now Andre unable to recover in his own zone. They poke it back to Keandre Miller, and he'll lift it in behind the Philadelphia cage. Centering pass. Canes can't get the shot on goal, and headed the other way is Philadelphia. Alex Bump made a move at the line. He had Martone with him, couldn't give it to him. And it's steered into the far corner where Jackson Blake lays it across to Stankoven. Logan Stankoven, 6 goals in 5 games. He has just been off to a great start in this postseason, playing on this line with Taylor Hall and Blake. And off of Stankoven's stick, it's into the Philadelphia bench and out of play. That was kind of cutting their losses. At the deadline a couple of years ago, remember they made the big trade, Natchez for Mika Rantanen, and 42 days later, after only playing 13 games, they realized that they were not going to get Rantanen to sign long-term, and they had to kind of look elsewhere and move him to Dallas. I guess they did pretty well.
Did pretty well. Logan Stankoven is doing a tremendous job for Carolina. He was part of that package with Rantanen.
They end up getting Stankoven, 2 first-round picks, and 2 third-round picks for Mikko Rantanen. And he's the hottest player right now anywhere. Into the far corner now. Working over a man is Cam York. He's going to take a penalty here. Carolina on a delayed call. Get it up to Seth Jarvis, left circle. Jarvis backs off, lost control. And as Cates gains control, it's going to be called a holding on Philadelphia. And Carolina will get their first man advantage as York goes in.
Philadelphia penalty number 8. 2-minute holding.
It's a holding penalty on Cam York.
Yeah, this is a board battle along the wall. Cam York's got him in that reach around position with his stick kind of leveraged into the wall. Carolina player can't get away, can't evade, and that's a holding call.
Well, so the Flyers scored on their first power play chance. Now here comes the Canes' first opportunity. Stahl is out here with Stankoven, Taylor Hall. And actually, they switched things up. Stahl is with the other unit now. with Svechnikov and Sebastian Aho. Seth Jarvis and Gostisbehere. Flyers win the draw, though, and Nick Cedar is able to angle it off the far wall and down the ice. Carolina ranked 12th in the league on the man advantage. Only 2 for 19, though, in the playoffs on the power play. And starting out, Gostisbehere. Lays it back across to Seth Jarvis. Now into the middle. Nick Ehlers with good speed. Carried to the Flyer line. Left wing pass. Svechnikov out to the blue line. Shane Gostisbehere at the left point on the half wall. Svechnikov and Gostisbehere play catch. Goes skates into the middle. Now to Svechnikov. Top left circle. Rink wide pass. Flittar got over and made the save on Aho's one-timer. And it deflected up over the glass. And for good measure, Couturier gives Aho a bump.
Well, this is a nice one-timer play and an even better read by Vladar. Couturier gets caught moving to the middle of the ice. He's got to take away that pass coming down the downhill on Vladar. There's traffic in front. This pass gets over to Aho, and Vladar sees that pass and gets a kick save on it. That didn't miss by much, Tim. Pretty sharp save.
Yep, Vladar got his left leg down on the ice and kicked it away. So the faceoff in the far circle stays in the Flyers' zone. Flyers go left to right here in the first period of Game 2 in Carolina. Canes win the draw. Shane Gostisbehere will walk the line. Looking in front, plays it left wall. Seth Jarvis in the circle. Little give and go. He gets it back. Jarvis got a man jumping to the side of the net. Jarvis plays it back to the line. Gostisbehere's shot sailed up over everything. Svechnikov unable to get to it. Pushed to the corner. Jarvis hit there by Christian Dvorak. The Flyers could it to the line but didn't clear the zone. Now Aho down low. Nick Ehlers turns him behind the goal line. Gets away from Nick Cedar, and that play ends up over the head of the Kane on the far wall and all the way back into the Carolina zone. So Carolina will change with the man advantage. 43 seconds left on the penalty time to Cam York. 2-0 Flyers. They're trying to preserve that 2-goal lead with a penalty kill here. Keandre Miller carries it over the line. Right wing pass. Back in front. Broken up. A good play by Luke Glendening. Then he'll find Ristolainen behind his own goal. He's pressured into a turnover. Taylor Hall intercepts that. A clearing attempt. Ristolainen didn't get enough on it. Now into the middle. Stankoven over to the right wing half boards. Sebastian Aho in front. He missed the first target. Blink with a shot, and that was knocked aside. Good pressure by Carolina. They keep it into the line. Miller gets it near side. Over to the right circle. They score. That one-timer from the far circle by Nick Ehlers. And on the power play, Ehlers has his first goal in the playoffs. The Canes cut the Flyer lead in half. It's 2-1.
Good movement on the power play for Carolina. This is a really nice pass. This is Blake over to Ehlers. And this is one of those east-to-west plays. This is a backdoor one-timer, obviously on the power play. Vlad's trying to track it, and it's just coming. It's crossing too much east-to-west distance, and Ehlers got a deadly shot, just lets this one rip. It's a 2-1 game.
So both teams take advantage of their first power play chances. And Carolina is on the board. 2-1 Philadelphia. This crowd very much a factor again. Puck in the Philadelphia zone, squirted in front of the net. It's poked to the far corner. Flyers with a chance to clear. Martinook then threw it at the net. Vladar had to be careful to knock that aside. It's in behind the goal to the far corner, and Carolina wins the race for the puck. Martinook wrapped it back out left point. Slavin shot hit a man in front of the net. Stahl kept it alive. Jordan Martinook. He's got traffic in front of the net. Will Carrier goes in front. He takes a Flyer down in below the goal line. In the corner, finally intercepted. The Flyers going to have to take an icing here as they send it all the way down. And they wave that icing off. So fortunate for the Flyers, they're going to be able to make a change.
Oh, yeah. 5-man unit change, too.
Forster out with Cates and Michkov now.
And it's important to have a good couple shifts here, Tim, after that goal.
Cutting back across the middle. Sebastian Aho gets the red line. Wheels it in deep. Turning to play that Nick Cedar. Steers it in behind the net. Andre took a hit. Shoveled it near corner. And Keandre Miller couldn't get it to the net. The bouncing puck down low. Andre behind the net. Lined up again. Made the play into the far corner. Michkov can't clear. It's gloved down by Svechnikov. The bouncing puck goes right to a Flyer though finally. And they will send it to center. But Carolina maintains possession. Trying to catch Philadelphia on a change. They back it up the left wing. Sebastian Aho pushed him behind the goal. Comes out. Tipped it right point. They go point to point. Keandre Miller wrapped it into the circle. Bouncing puck in the slot. Controlled by Carolina. Back out at the line. Aho finally steered to the wall there by Denver Barkey. Cedar on the end boards. Gets it up the wall, and a good clear by Porter Martone to send it back into the Kane end.
Great work by Denver Barkey. That's how you play defense. You take the body, you take the stick, and get the puck back. Make a good play when you do that. That's why they break out.
It's the kid line right now.
Yep.
Bump with Martone. Here's Taylor Hall up the left wing, and he's going to be whistled offside as he just failed to drag that in front and go to the Flyer net. We get a time out of the ice, 7:28 to go. Here in the opening period, started well. Flyers with the first two. Canes have one back on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
All the action on the ice giving you the chills? Break away to the hottest game in town, Delilah's. Let the world's most beautiful showgirls warm you up as you claim the game on Delilah's giant video walls. Or skate in after the game. Your ticket stub gives you free admission. Ready for a real power play? Come to Delilah's, voted America's #1 gentleman's club. Just off Delaware Avenue and just out of this world. Delilah's, where body checking is a way of life. Details now at delilahs.com.
Xfinity tech support. I can't get Jurassic Park back online without... But no worries. Our Wi-Fi boosted mobile keeps you connected in all kinds of places.
Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
WMMR.com, your online home for everything that rocks.
Tickets are on sale now to watch the Flyers face off against the Hurricanes at Xfinity Mobile Arena in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Get your tickets at philadelphiaflyers.com.
Well, Sean Couturier was probably the most effective Flyer forward over the first, 7 playoff games for the Flyers. Finally has his first goal and a great setup by Carl Grundstrom that began with Grundstrom creating a turnover off a forecheck. Canes got one back on the power play, so it's 2-1 Philadelphia. Ristolainen sails it up that far wall. Flyers can't clear. Barkey in the area. Alex Bump trying to drag that puck free. Goes to the corner to Taylor Hall. Hall met immediately by Ristolainen, and they fight for control as Flyers finally bank it up the left wing. Porter Martone controls. He's got a man going to the net. Denver Barkey trying to bend it by, and Anderson able to make that save. Barkey hounding Riley, and it does come out at center ice. Right back in. Stan Coleman on the right wing gives it up. They wind it in behind the net. Into the left wing corner. Blake was jacked. The Flyers looking for the loose puck. Drag it free, and Alex Bump heads the other way. Boy, Denver Barkey just never could settle that, but he still got a glorious scoring chance off. And we got a penalty here behind the play. This is going to be a hold, and I think it's going against Carolina. Taylor Hall will head in, and Philadelphia's about to get their second power play chance of the game.
Alex Bump, he makes the extra...
Carolina number 71, minor penalty for holding.
Makes the extra effort all the time to make sure he's getting the line. He's trying to get the blue line here, and he's held up on the way there. Good work by Alex Bump. Keeps his legs moving, draws this penalty. And another opportunity on the power play for the Philadelphia Flyers here.
So it's going to be Cates, Forster, and Konechny, Zegras, and Drysdale. And the Canes win the faceoff. And Carolina's Jordan Martinook throws it the length of the ice. Gloved down by Dan Vladar. Drysdale will go get it behind the net. Philadelphia having scored their third power play goal of the playoffs. Here in the first period, looking to make it 2 for 2. Zegras hit up the left wing. Forster trying to get to that. Upended was Jordan Martinook on the wall. They scrambled the puck into the left wing corner. Zegras trying to drag that puck free. Konechny in the fray as well. Konechny leans on Slavin. It's in behind the net. And cutting off Chatfield was Trevor Zegras. Gets it out to the blue line. Cates into the middle, turning with it. They get it to Zegras, out left point. Jamie Drysdale looking for a shooting lane. Back over to Trevor Zegras. Side of the net, back in front. Konechny, oh, he didn't shoot. He was trying to set up Tyson Forster in front. That was blocked, and Carolina clears.
That hit the shaft of the D-man stick. Otherwise, that's back in the back of the net. Tyson Forster winding up on that. Nice little try by Konechny for the backdoor play.
Here's Philadelphia with speed out of their own zone. Porter Martone into the middle. Canes bat that out of the air. Good play by Sebastian Aho. Rammed into the left wing corner. Barkey gets it back to the blue line. Covering there, Ristolainen. Back, it's Christian Dvorak on the wall. Now Barkey a centering pass. They miss him with that, and it comes all the way back into the Philadelphia zone. 36 seconds left in the power play time. 5:10 left in this opening period. It's 2-1 Flyers. Here through the middle is Denver Barkey with good speed. He hits the line, plays it on the right wing wall, forces it into the corner. Martone trying to come up with a loose puck as they scrum for it down low. Squirts out to Ristolainen. He'll set up Michkov. Michkov on the half wall. Tried to leave it there, but lost control. Keandre Miller won a physical battle with him and just clears the zone.
A few times, Risto's got to send that puck in there from the point. He's looking for a little bit too much. He's got guys moving towards the front of that net.
Here's Couturier, weaves his way through traffic, went right to the goal. Tried to tuck a bouncing puck by, and it went just wide. Great play by Sean Couturier. Now Grundstrom trying to get his stick away from Anderson, who went down holding Grundstrom's stick. Crowd screaming for a penalty. Really should have gone the other way. Here's Travis Sanheim. Angles one in behind the net. Couturier couldn't get there. Glenn Denning, a big hit in the corner on Chatfield. Couturier protects the puck from Stankoven. Gets it to the middle point, but it did come out at center. So Sanheim's going to retreat to his own zone. Right back in. Carl Grundstrom fights through a check. Bats it in behind the goal line. Finishing a check on Couturier was Gostisbehere. And Couturier down behind the play as here comes Carolina the other way. It's going to be a Philadelphia penalty behind the play. Hall gets it to Stankoven with a shot up over the net. That'll come to center, right to Couturier. And I think it's going to be Coots that goes in. He got tangled with a man behind the play. He and Grundstrom both. Grundstrom actually will draw the penalty.
Philadelphia penalty, 91, 2 minutes, holding the stick.
So it's a holding the stick penalty, and when we come back, it's going to be a Carolina power play. Flyers with a 2-1 lead late in the first on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
Flyers hockey rocks on 93.3 WMMR.
FWM for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. FW Web supports all customers, from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Web has what you need when and where you need it. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast. Visit FWWeb.com for a location near you.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
And he scores!
Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Dream Jackie Bam Bam, weeknights on your smart speaker. Just say, play MMR.
Reserve your Flyers club seat memberships for the 2026-27 season and get priority access to tickets for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs, along with access to all Xfinity Mobile Arena events. Text CLUB to 61259 to learn more.
Flyers build an early 2-goal lead. Carolina got one back in the power play. Now they're going back on the man advantage with Carl Grundstrom in for high sticking. Flyers win the draw but can't clear. Stankoven carried into the high slot. Gives it up to Blake. Down low, Taylor Hall back to Blake. Banded off the wall. Philadelphia will get to it, and Konechny is Grundstrom able to clear all the way down. Grundstrom and Couturier will go to the bench on the penalty kill. Out comes Forster with Cates. Andre Miller from the side of his own goal skates ahead. He'll give it up into the middle. Stankoven had that knocked out of the air. The loose puck. The Flyers finally get to it, and Cam York is able to clear. Eddie Anderson onto the net will leave it for his defense. And Keandre Miller starts out again. Just over 3 minutes to play here in the opening period. It's 2-1 Flyers. The Canes skated 5-on-4. Stankoven, right wing pass. Jackson Blake on the wall. Checked immediately by Forster. The Flyers get the puck free. It bounces away from Case. Into the high slot. A shot deflected up over the net. Taylor Hall had the chance. Hall picked it up on the near half wall. Taylor Hall down low. Svechnikov behind the net. Plays it out right point. Blake gets it back to him. Went hard to the net. In front. A shot hit a man in front of the net. And the Flyers pick it up and Sanheim able to clear.
Good job clearing that block. A failed attempt earlier on. They had a 5-foot area pass. Just didn't connect on it. It stayed hemmed in on that power play.
Spear gives it up. Here's Nick Eaters at the line. Rink-wide pass right to Nick Cedar. And Cedar will wait. No mistake as he clears all the way back down. 30 seconds left in the Grundstrom penalty. 2-1 Flyers. Canes trailing for the first time in these playoffs. Over the line, the bouncing puck. Svechnikov throws it in behind the net. Cedar bump, lost control of the puck. Jankowski gets there and digs it free in the corner. They play it out right point. Gostisbehere, good keeping with the skate. Gives it back on the half wall. Aho down low, hopped over the stick of Jankowski. Another clear by the Flyers as Ristolainen angles it off the wall and down. That'll kill off the penalty time. Grundstrom is back, and he heads to the Flyer bench as Philadelphia returns 5-on-5.
Yeah, that's a big kill for the Philadelphia Flyers. They got to use that and get some momentum here for the end of this period.
Canes come up the ice again. Will carry a carried one off his own man. Jacob Slavin, watched by Zegras. It's backhanded up the far boards. Turned into the middle. Dvorak tried to make a one-touch pass to the Carolina blue line. That was thwarted as the Canes batted back into the Philadelphia end. Will carry it in on the end wall. Kept it alive for Stahl. He'll feed out left point. Jacob Slavin, the line shoots, and a save by Vladar with a man all over him in front. And it's cleared up that far side, back to the Carolina blue line. Will carry a final minute of play, backhands it in. The bouncing puck, Ristolainen handles that, but we got a whistle behind the play. I think it's too many men on the ice. Question is, who is it on? It's going to be on Philadelphia. And Carolina's going to end the period with another power play.
Philadelphia, bench minor penalty, too many men on the ice.
They don't make life easy.
Yeah, they don't need that one here. But they're going to have to kill this off. They got a minute here. Great job on the last kill, but the power play is potent in Carolina.
19:05 is going to be the time of this penalty. And so Zegras will come over to serve it. And Carolina goes right back on the man advantage. 54 seconds away from taking a one-goal lead to the room after one. Bryn Stahl leans in for this faceoff. Circle to the left of the Flyer net. Now Hall will come in and replace him, and he wins it cleanly. Stankoven through it on goal. Blockered away by Dan Vladar. On the left wing boards, Blake controls for the Canes. To the line, Miller looking from the slot. Back over to Blake, top left circle. They've got Stankoven sneaking into that far circle. They're going to try to get it to him. He's the trigger man. Over to the point. Andre Miller gives it to Stankoven. Back to Miller. Miller will snap the shot on goal, and a save off of Vladar. Trickled just wide of the goal. Tap alive in the circle, and Stankoven misses the point pass back to Miller. And they'll go all the way back into the Kane end. Minute 25 left here in the man advantage. Only 15 seconds left in the period. Fired in. It bounces out of the corner right to the front of the net. Went to the corner for Cates, and Cates makes no mistake. He'll clear down. That should pretty well kill off the remaining penalty or the time in the period. Carolina will take about a minute, 6 seconds of power play time into the second period. Great start for the Flyers. Fridge, the Flyers get the first two first-period goals that they've had in these playoffs. Carolina got one back in the power play, 2-1 Philadelphia after one.
I got to tell you, Tim, I was nervous before tonight's game to see how they would respond. Obviously, all year the Philadelphia Flyers have showed resilience, but they got exactly what they needed tonight. They needed a big start. They needed to change some things in their game, their approach and how they played. All those things were adopted and performed. It's a good start to the game. It's still 2-1. They got to get through this. Trips to the penalty box. They can't be going on the penalty kill all night.
They are the most penalized team in the playoffs, so they do have to clean that up moving forward here, and maybe more of a shooter's mentality than they showed at times in the first period. Flyers with a 2-1 lead, though, after 1 period of play. Stay tuned. Our first intermission is coming up. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez have that when we return to the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with your family's favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how everybody gets a delicious meal they'll love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
I'm Kelly Munson, President and CEO of Independence Blue Cross. Playoff hockey is back in Philadelphia, and we know we can count on the orange and black to deliver passion, grit, and resilience on the ice. Off the ice, you can count on IBX to serve the people of our great city all year long. For more than 85 years, we've been here when you need us, and we're proud to be the official health insurance partner of the Flyers as they compete for the Stanley Cup. From one home team to another.
Let's go Flyers!
Fans, discover the Legacy Club in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where every day is a chance to create lasting memories. From its stunning golf course to distinctive dining options and family-friendly amenities, the Legacy Club offers something for everyone. Whether you're perfecting your golf game, enjoying a gourmet meal, or attending their exciting social or family events, the Legacy Club is your happy place. For details, visit thelegacyclub.com. That's thelegacyclub.com.
Hey Flyers fans, elevate your Xfinity Mobile Arena experience with a membership at Prime Point Social. With a unique in-venue dining experience, a curated Philadelphia-inspired culinary program, and an intimate atmosphere overlooking all the action, Prime Point Social is the place to be this season. As a Prime Point Social member, you have access to an array of amenities and exclusive opportunities. Take your game day experience to the next level with a membership that fits your entertainment needs. For more information on how to become a Flyers Prime Point Social member, give us a call today at 215-218-7825.
Hi, everyone. Julie Stewart-Binks here, along with former NHLer Nate Thompson. Join us on Energy Line as we share our takes, stories, and surprise guests every week. Patrick Kane, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Team USA head coach Mike Sullivan, 6-time Stanley Cup champion Mark Messier.
With over 800 NHL games, I know a couple guys.
Biz didn't have Twitter. No one knew who he was, so I called Whit, and I'm like, how is Biz? He was like, I'm telling you right now, you're going to hate him. Then he'll be your best friend.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts,
or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Now, back to the Flyers Intermission Report. Here's Jason Martinez and Brian Smith.
Flyers lead the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1 after 1 period of play here at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. It's Game 2 of this second-round series between the Flyers and the Hurricanes, and the series will now shift back to Philadelphia for Games 3 and 4. Coming up on Thursday night, Game 3, 8 p.m. Game 4 is Saturday at 6 p.m. Both, of course, at Xfinity Mobile Arena, and the Flyers are trying to ensure with a win here tonight that they would have to come back here to Raleigh next week for a Game 5. Again, it's that old adage, right, Jason, that the series hasn't started until somebody wins on the road, and the Flyers have put themselves in a good spot maybe to do that here tonight. If they don't, like you said, though, it's, the Hurricanes, by and large, are supposed to win the first 2 home games, right? That's the way this playoff situation works, and the Flyers, I think, don't have a ton of pressure on them here, despite it would be a 2-0 deficit. But if they can come back out of here with a split, I mean, that is huge, and a good first 20 minutes toward that.
Well, first of all, like when you go to a new series, you got to build some foundational blocks of belief that you can beat the opponent, right?
Yeah.
And the way the first game went, obviously, you lose the game 3-0. Although you settled into the game and kind of controlled them a little bit more, or kind of limited the damage they could do a little bit more, you didn't get a goal. So that's a frustration point. First, you got to know you can score, and you can get a first-period goal. The 2 goals for the Flyers, the first 2 first-period goals of these playoffs. And, I mean, there's so many angles here. And Carolina has never trailed in these playoffs, and they only spent the game scoreless against the Flyers or tied against the Flyers for 1:31 in Game 1.
Right.
So now all of a sudden they're trailing for the first time, not by 1 but by 2. They cut it in half. But Carolina, I was surprised. I looked up their numbers when they trail after 1 period of play through the regular season, and their record is 11-7-3 overall. Considering how many games they won
telling me
this
they
year.
only trailed 21 times after 1 period. Holy crap.
Which is a remarkable number. But as good as they were, I would thought that number the win number would have been a little higher, but it's not. And when they trail after 2, they've only won 5 times, 5-15-2.
Yeah.
Conversely, the Flyers, when they lead after 1, have a record of 21-1-3, and when they lead after 2, 26-0-3. So, playoffs are a different animal, but
yeah, and it's so funny in this league because the numbers show you how hard it is to play from behind, but
it's not a recipe.
Next thing you know, these 2-goal leads are gone like that. It's bizarre.
And as we learned in Game 1 too, Smitty, the Canes, probably as all the teams remaining, the Canes and the Avalanche can erase a 2-goal deficit in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
As quick as the Flyers scored the 2 goals in 39 seconds, they can erase it in 39 seconds. So you got to stay on it, and I guarantee that's the message here at the intermission by the head coach. Much better period. We got to stay out of the box, and we got to keep pushing them and playing offense in their zone. That's the key, I think, going forward. And I think the Flyers did a good job adjusting. They caused an offside. They caused an icing in that period. They adjusted the neutral zone a little bit, and the Canes are trying to figure out how to slice their way through it like they did in Game 1. Flyers are going to try and prevent it.
Let's get you the highlights from that first period as the Flyers got on the board. Not only did they get on the board first, they got on the board first in the power play. What is happening here? They get the power play opportunity, and it's a scramble in front, and good on Freddie Anderson here to poke check this out of harm's way. But unfortunately for him, he poke checked it right to Jamie Drysdale, and Drysdale cashes in for the 1-0 lead.
Flyers turn right back in. Travis Konechny carries in up the line, gave the right wing. Zegras in front. Forcer unable to settle the bouncing puck. Into the slot, Jamie Drysdale shoots. He scores! Jamie Drysdale on the power play. Wires one top corner. His second goal of the playoffs. And Philadelphia had their first period goal of this series. And in this playoff year, the Flyers take the early lead.
Drysdale's goal is unassisted at the moment due to the poke check from Freddie Anderson, but the Flyers will take it at 4:02. They make it 1-0, and again, it's the start they're looking for, but to get that kind of start on the power play is even more valuable, I think.
No doubt about it, and it's a goal off the rush. Most power play goals are scored out of structure, not off the rush. This one comes off the rush. But why is it successful? It's because Konechny, the puck carrier, carries it up the middle of the ice, and that just spreads them out even more with a player down. So he drives the middle, dumps it off to Zegras on the right-hand side, and then you get a little bit of chaos. They have 3 guys back. They're trying to figure out who to pick up. The 4th guy's coming in, and all 4 Canes players just crash on the blue paint. And when Freddie Anderson, he'd have been better off just covering this puck, which I think he could have. Then Drysdale comes in. And the weird part about it is the Flyers players kind of peeled away from the net, thinking we're going to go back into our power play structure, but Drysdale fires it. It's a clear-sighted shot that just beats Freddie Anderson high glove, and the Flyers have a 1-0 lead. I wouldn't deem that a high-danger scoring chance because it's clear-sighted.
Yeah.
And Freddie Anderson, as you go, will give up those medium to low danger chances throughout the playoffs. That's been the knock on him. So maybe this gets him questioning his game a little bit after having a great series against Ottawa and a shutout in the opener.
Well, it's a power play goal for the Flyers.
Sorry, high blocker.
I actually thought their second power play that they didn't score on might have looked better than the first power play that they did score on. The only reason they didn't score on the second one is because a play they were trying to execute, a puck hit the shaft of a stick in the lane. Otherwise, Tyson Forrester is on the board here with a slam dunk goal. But that was later on in the period. But 39 seconds later, the Flyers made it 2-0. And this is the fourth line coming out after that goal to kind of set the tone. And it's Sean Couturier in front, tapping it home to make it a 2-0 game.
Rasmus Ristolainen knocked it down to the wall. Couturier had it spun past him. And with a clearing attempt, Riley went off a Flyer, finds it again, but lost control. Here's a bad angle shot. Grundstrom in behind the net. In front, they score! It's Sean Couturier at point-blank range. He pounds in his first goal of the playoffs. And less than 5 minutes into the opening period, the Flyers lead it 2-0.
Couturier from Grundstrom, 4:41 of the first period. I'm not sure why Glendening doesn't get an assist on this. I'd have to go back and look. Obviously, something, possession change or something, but he gets an honorary assist in my book on this. That fourth line, that first shift after a goal can be so important, and they make it so here.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And it's a great read. I tweeted out it was Glendening. It was actually Grundstrom. Sees the Carolina player trying to corral the puck. After Grundstrom tries to send it in front to Couturier, he's got two Carolina players with sticks in there, loose battle, and then he goes behind the net, and Couturier doesn't leave the porch, and the Canes player does. So it's a great job, but Grundstrom making this read, as soon as, I think it's Gostisbehere, two Carolina players kind of collide with each other, and he attacks it. And boom, he goes behind the net, sets up Couturier for the slam, and the Flyer, Gostisbehere left Couturier. And just left him there by himself. Attaboy, Ghost. Some of that legendary defense that he provides.
What year is it?
What's he doing out there on that ship?
Oh, my.
I could go on for days.
Yeah.
He and I didn't get along. We didn't see eye to eye.
Oh, boy. Well, Couturier cashes in on the opportunity, making it a 2-0 game. The Carolina Hurricanes did score later on a power play. Nikolai Ehlers with his first goal of the playoffs. Again, it's a failed clear, unfortunately. Rasmus Ristolainen was pressured. Somebody got a stick on him, but he couldn't get it out, and the Hurricanes able to cash in. We're going to skip over that highlight, though, because I do want to discuss what happened late in the period here. The Flyers are going to have to kill off minute 15 of power play time on a too many men on the ice call. That is interesting because both teams had too many men on the ice here. I actually saw the Flyers situation happening in real time, and I thought they got away with it, but then one of the linesmen caught it. But the four guys also missed that the Hurricanes had more players on the ice than the Flyers did. And so we're watching this. It goes against Philadelphia. And then ESPN throws up a graphic with 6 Hurricanes on the ice and confuses the heck out of everybody. So it's one of those unfortunate situations. But
what the heck? Because I'm not listening to the TV broadcast. I listen to our radio broadcast.
Yep.
I'm going, what the heck? How did the Flyers get to too many men when I see too many men for them?
Yep.
Did they think the Flyers were wearing the black jersey tonight?
Well, that's the thing. They both teams had too many men on the ice at that point. I've never seen coincidental too many men on the ice penalties. But
could you see that a 4-on-4 coincidental too many men?
It should have happened there because that's exactly what the situation was. But
one last thing.
Yeah,
Flyers got to improve in the dot. They're getting bludgeoned in the faceoff circle.
Are they? Okay.
Carolina's going 83.3% of the draws. Christian Dvorak's like 1 win to 5 losses, so they got to get better in the dot.
You've got 3 guys with 1 face-off win each, and that's it. They've had 7 guys take face-offs for some reason in this game. Porter Martone had to take one. You can imagine that was going to go too well. We'll keep an eye on that overall situation, but that is certainly
yet they lead the game 2-1.
Hey, we'll take it. Hockey, right?
Make it make sense.
Yeah, ask John Cooper about that, right?
Yep.
Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Flyers Intermission Report as we are out of time. When we come back in just a moment, Tim Saunders and Todd Fedoruk will have that second period for you as the Flyers look for an early penalty kill here at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. We're after 1 period of play. It's the Flyers 2 and the Carolina Hurricanes 1. Back after this on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at SERVPRO can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
The Flyers are teaming up with Holman to grow the game with the Goals for Gear program presented by HolmanAuto.com. For every Flyer goal scored, Holman will donate $275 to the Flyers Learn to Play Rookie program, which provides a unique opportunity for families to join the hockey community and for participants to develop fundamental skills to help them succeed both on and off the ice.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen.
And he scores!
Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
Philadelphia has always been about toughness, grit, and innovation, and your Flyers are no exception. That's why they skate stronger with NextGen Hyperbaric. Using cutting-edge hyperbaric oxygen therapy, NextGen helps players recover quicker, heal better, and maintain energy through the grind of the season. From training to game day, NextGen keeps athletes ready to perform at their best. Proud to support the Flyers, proud to support Philly, NextGen Hyperbaric, the future of recovery is here.
I'm Kelly Munson, President and CEO of Independence Blue Cross. Playoff hockey is back in Philadelphia, and we know we can count on the orange and black to deliver passion, grit, and resilience on the ice. Off the ice, you can count on IBX to serve the people of our great city all year long. For more than 85 years, we've been here when you need us, and we're proud to be the official health insurance partner of the Flyers as they compete for the Stanley Cup. From one home team to another.
Let's go Flyers!
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. Everything that rocks.
2 goals in 39 seconds before the first period was 5 minutes old. The 2 fastest goals the Flyers have scored in a playoff game in 15 years. Philadelphia with goals from Drysdale and Couturier had the early lead. Carolina got one back on the power play as Philadelphia will start this second period still short-handed. The Canes skating at 5-on-4. With Todd Fedora, Tim Saunders back at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. Fridge, the Flyers also took 3 penalties in that first period. They have to clean that up. They can't let Carolina back in this game with a man advantage.
Yeah, the power play for Carolina is too strong. If they keep making trips to the box all night, it's going to be that much harder for them. It's really important they really get this minute killed off and get back to work. They had a pretty good, strong first period in all areas of the game, but they're going to have to hold on to that lead as best they can, Tim.
They sure look better ready to start this game than they did in Game 1 on Saturday. Flyers lead it 2-1, second period underway. Philadelphia won the draw, but they can't clear. Good pressure there at the line by Luke Glendening. Canes fire into the left wing corner, and Nick Ehlers out by the line, turned it down the wall. Sanheim there to break it up, and Philadelphia will dump it the rest of the way to the Carolina line. Jen Gostisbehere gloved it down there. Gets it back from Nick Ehlers. Now he'll drop it, and Ehlers will skate ahead. One of the fastest Carolina Hurricanes cuts across center ice. Right wing pass. Seth Jarvis gets it in behind the net. Ehlers turned down to the left wing corner. They've got Aho going to the bumper spot. Gostisbehere over to the far circle. They set it up. A shot. They couldn't get that through. That was bucked right back to Gostisbehere. Aho pulls it out top right circle. Canes set it up again. Jarvis back to Aho. Aho to Gostisbehere. Aho curls from the top of the circle in front. The puck that just wide of that. Off the stick there is Svechnikov. Lost his spear with a drive. That was knocked away by Vladar, and Philadelphia unable to clear. Here's Nick Eaters again to the top of the shot. Kicked away. Great left pad save by Dan Vladar. Now out of the box. Trevor Zegras. He's got a man coming in with a shot at Sanheim, and he misses the net with that.
Sneaky little play right out of the box. Trevor Zegras. How about that pass from Couturier in the D zone? Springs him on a breakaway, makes a nice little pass.
Oh, that would have been huge.
Oh.
The Flyers have it at the line. Drysdale gives it up, and a shot by Ristolainen bounced right on. And a good recovery there by Freddie Anderson to get a pat on that.
That's the idea. Ristolainen's got to shoot that. The D for the Flyers got to send those one in on net.
Carolina comes right back in. They've got Stahl bumped off the end wall by Ristolainen, who plays it out to Zegras. He'll get it up the right wing, and Dvorak is able to nudge it back into the Carolina zone. Haynes hurried back for that as Philadelphia makes a change. It comes up the right wing. Jordan Stahl. He gets by Dvorak, trying to go to the net, but Nick Cedar arrives in time to bat that away. At the line, the Canes trying to keep it in the zone. They send it in behind the goal. Over to the right wing half boards. To the corner. Jordan Stahl put it right through the crease. And Vladar got a piece of that before the Flyers were able to clear. Carolina sends it back in on a delayed offside. They'll get out and change as Philadelphia misses Michkov with a pass out to center ice. Forster turned it over. Right back in comes Taylor Hall. Left wing pass, shot to the net. Glove by Vladar. He's going to squeeze that and try to get the guys to settle things down.
Settle things down is right. I like that. Vladar does that well. This is a broken play. They're trying to hit a stretch play through the neutral zone. It gets broken up. Transition comes back on him. So he says, let's reset. Get a whistle here.
That'll allow the Flyers to get York and Drysdale out together. And the kid line, Barkey with Martone and Bump. Flyers going right to left here in the second period. And Barkey's going to be tossed out of the faceoffs. Flyers won only 3 of 18 draws in the first period. Stankoven wins this faceoff in the high slot. We're going to Slavin, and his shot off a Flyer stick. Bump deflects that over the glass. It's out of play. Well, Fridge in a tight series. Faceoffs can be decisive, and they've got to clean that up.
Yeah, clean that area up, especially with a heavy puck possession team like Carolina. You don't want them starting with it because it's that much harder to get it back.
You know who's really gotten better in that regard is Noah Cates. His faceoff numbers have improved. Couturier is going to take this one in the circle to the right of the Flyer net. Philadelphia wins that. Drysdale gives it to York. He'll skate to open ice and carry to center ice. Gets the red line and fired it in deep. Over to the far corner. Couturier can't knock it down. It's in the air over the glass into the crowd as Carl Grundstrom was looking for it. The Canes seem to be arguing something. But Jankowski, this is going to be a delay of game. They're going to get Jankowski for delay of game.
7 modern penalty for delay of game. Puck out of play.
That's why he was arguing. So, Fridge, the Flyers are going to get their third man advantage of the contest.
Well, hopefully they can take advantage here. This is a little bit of a lucky break. A battle down low. Puck rolls up on Ed and just gets out of play. No deflection, so that's an automatic.
So Philadelphia skates it 5-on-4, but they lose another faceoff, and Carolina pulls to center ice into the Philadelphia zone. Short-handed Jordan Stahl finally separated from the puck by Drysdale, and Zegras trying to skate away from him. Konechny will help out. Konechny will curl in front of his own goal. Flyers with the advantage. Here's Travis Konechny, 1 for 2 in the man advantage in the first period. He'll drop it to Zegras through center ice with speed, hits the Carolina line, but somebody went ahead of the play. It's offside. And Zegras was tripped up as he gained the zone. Zegras still sitting on the seat of his pants in the corner trying to complain to the referee.
Yeah, he got taken down after the whistle.
So it'll come out at center. It's still Zegras with Forster, Cates, Konechny, and Drysdale. And Zegras slowly going over to the far wall. He'll set up. He'll try to spring him up that right side. But Cates can't win the draw. The Canes do. And lift it down the ice by Sheffield. So with a minute 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Drysdale starts out. Skates to center, then drop the pass to Zegras. He and Konechny come together through center. Zegras stepped it over the line, back off of Konechny's stick. Cates will leave it at the right point. Jamie Drysdale sends it down the wall. There was nobody there behind the goal line for Philadelphia. Jammed up the board. Zegras back to the line. Drysdale's got a man pressuring him, and he got rid of it. Quickly shoveled it in deep, but the Canes are able to clear. So the Flyers never really have been able to settle this. Vladar stick handles and plays it away from Aho in the corner. And only now do the Flyers start out again. 45 seconds left. Konechny will drop it back. Denver Barkey comes out with Porter Martone. Barkey hits the line, went to the net, finally had it knocked off his stick. At the side of the goal, Porter Martone dives to try to get it back to the point. Ristolainen. Gloved down by Seth Jarvis. Jarvis trying to step by him, and Jarvis gets past him. All alone in front. A shot. Oh, was stopped by Dan Vladar. Sits on the seat of his pants and finally gets it blown dead. It was Seth Jarvis in front with Eric Robinson. And there is going to be a Philadelphia penalty, but Robinson had the chance, and Vladar turns him away.
Ristolainen's going to get the penalty here. He's trying to keep this at the blue line as they're on the power play.
55, 2 minutes tripping.
Jarvis actually goes down, makes the play still by getting the pass over, but by that time, the hook was already made, the trip was already made. Flyers come off the power play, and now they're going to be going on the penalty kill.
This makes 4 penalties before the game is half over. They just can't keep doing this to themselves. So it negates the 17 seconds that was left on the Flyers' third power play. And then the Canes will get an abbreviated fourth man advantage. Face up back into Philadelphia zone. Circle to the right of Dan Vladar. Stankoven won it. K'Andre Miller shot. Gloved in traffic. Vladar dropped it in front of him and gets it blown dead with Blake trying to get a stick on it.
Well, Carolina is known for not worrying about the quality shot. They send everything in there. This is a quick play off of the draw. K'Andre Miller just whips that shot off.
Should the Flyers not be taking that page out of the Carolina Hurricanes book?
You know what? That's the one thing. It's the one thing. It's just that to send that puck on net, there's that hesitation.
Yeah, talked about it after game 1 the other night. Is just that hesitation when they get the puck in the middle. They're waiting a split second, and that can make all the difference between getting the shot off and not.
And you know what? The success of the team is dependent on that kind of element of the game. When they were on their little run, it's a lot of shots. They get to those areas and they shoot that puck.
Cates actually won the faceoff, but the Canes are going to control. Spinning free, knocked off of Sean Walker's stick. Cates on one knee is able to backhand it back into the Carolina end. Canes are on the man advantage now as Jankowski comes out of the box. 2-1 Flyers, but they've got to kill off a fourth Carolina power play. Stankoven will drop it back at his own line. Ehlers with speed, picks his way in, turned in the near half boards, plays it back down low. Jackson Blake behind the net. Taylor Hall into the left wing circle, into the middle. Stankoven trying to make the cross-ice pass. Flyers got a stick on it, but kept alive by the Canes. K'Andre Miller gets it over to the far side. Bounce past Jackson Blake. Blake off the wall, down low. Stankoven in front and deflected it wide of the net. Taylor Hall had him set up back in front. Blake with a shot and a save by Dan Vladar. As Blake had a good look with nobody between he and the Flyer net.
Some nice puck movement by Carolina in the offensive zone. Vladar successful at tracking that puck. Sees this puck come across east to west, low to high for that one-timer, but boy, he gets in position well. That makes a big save. He is playing a tremendous game for the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. Dan Vladar.
They've killed half of the Ristolainen penalty off. We're 5.5 minutes into the second period. Still 2-1 Flyers. On the draw, Philadelphia's Glendening wins this face-up, but again the Canes win a battle to it and get it out to the line. Here's Shane Gostisbehere. Back into the right wing half boards. At the hash mark. Gostisbehere to the blue line. Jarvis covering there. Back to Gostisbehere now. Jarvis with a drive. Knocked down in front. The scramble with the goal mouth. It stayed out. The loose puck is still free. And the Canes turned it over to the far wall. And that'll get to center ice at the line and played back in offside. The Canes started to celebrate, but Dan Vladar was able to knock that away right on the line.
Yeah, he is just down in strong legs in that butterfly position. Just fights off 2 or 3 shots here. Bodies in front, gets a little help from his defenseman, Travis Sanheim. This one squeaks through 5-hole, and Sanheim's there to keep it out of the back of the net. Nice little play, but you need that help from your D-men.
Yep, mark that one down. Sanheim just took one away in the scramble in front. And again, the Canes are kind of doing what the Flyers have talked about wanting to do with Freddie Anderson, is just crash the front of the net. And the Canes almost had it pay off right there. 28 seconds left in the man advantage. Here comes Carolina on the attack. Jarvis at the line. Gives it on the right wing to Aho. He'll spin it back to Gostisbehere. He'll walk the line to the middle. Aho on the right wing half boards. Gets it back from Seth Jarvis. They've got Nick Eaters in the slot. Stankoven off his stick, turned in behind the net, looking to make a play in deep. He'll play it out to the right point. Aho at the line, threw it toward the net, blocked down in front. It's still loose, the bouncing puck, and steered away by Porter Martone. Penalty is over, but Carolina's got it. At the side of the net, Taylor Hall in front. Svechnikov with a shot, and that Karam just wide of the goal. Aho behind the net. Getting to it first was Philadelphia's Couturier, but he couldn't play it away. Aho behind the goal. Bumped there by Nick Cedar. Canes get it out to the line, but put it themselves out to center.
Flyers need some new legs on the ice. A little tired.
Steven Chatfield winds it in deep. Philadelphia unable to change yet. Another shot handled by Dan Vladar. Couturier finds Zegras, and Zegras, before he was checked by 2 Canes, got rid of that back to the Carolina blue line. Couturier got to the bench. Grundstrom jumps out for him. Here's Carolina right back in. Martinook's pass on the end wall. Trying to control that was Jordan Stahl at the side of the goal. Cedar got it over to the far wall, and Konechny outlets now. Zegras reaching for it, able to poke it in on goal, and steered away by Freddie Anderson. 2 Flyers converge on Chatfield. As they jam it free on the near wall, Carolina's Stahl comes back to help out. He'll outlet up that left wing. Taylor Hall angled to the boards by Drysdale. Drysdale unable to clear the zone, though. Stahl drags it into the corner, now behind the net. They wire it around to the right point, but jumping in was Sean Walker, and it goes back into the Cane end. We've played 8 minutes of this second period, and Carolina seems to be coming. They've outshot the Flyers 20-8.
And they've got the momentum right now, too. They've just continued pressing since that power play.
Hall into the middle. His pass deflected away from Blake. Hall goes in behind the net. Stankoven in front. Deflected just wide. Drysdale holds him off, and Denver Barkey comes to get the puck. Plays it up the far boards, and Philadelphia did clear. Bump was met right in front of the Carolina bench. Able to bounce off that check, though, and make the play to Andre, and Andre will throw it in on goal. Glove down, and Freddie Anderson clears behind the defense. Carolina's got a man going right in. Martinook with a backhand, and it bounces wide of their goal. It was Eric Robinson to give it a chance. Wraparound attempt in front, and Philadelphia able to find it and clear. Eric Robinson has had 2 great chances.
A nice little opportunity there. Better save by Vladar.
Freddie Anderson created that with that long flip play up the middle to spring Eric Robinson. Puck in deep, and after it. Strip of the puck, Carrier fought to get it back. Outlet point it comes, and Gostisbehere rolled in down low. Off the dasher, Carrier gets to it in the far corner. He was checked, and Forster digs the puck free and flipped it back to the Carolina line. Flyers are just doing that a lot, though. Flipping the puck to relieve pressure as Carolina keeps coming.
And that, you know what? That's not a bad tactic right now if they're flying and they've got possession.
Puck comes right back to Carl Grundstrom. He'll force it in behind the net. Anderson plays it hard around, and Seth Jarvis takes over in front of the Flyer bench. Gives it up with speed, hitting the line. The bouncing puck. Svechnikov had a chance, and he runs into Cam York. Got a stick up on him, too. Here comes Carolina winding it right back in as Couturier took a ring at Gostisbehere. Grundstrom wrapped it back. Drysdale, a lead pass right up the middle. Now Couturier gave it to Drysdale. Stepped in, took a shot, and a blocker saved by Freddie Anderson. Penalty coming up on Carolina. And when the Canes gain control, the penalty will be called. They're going to come look at a Flyer to make sure it should be just 2. I think this is a high-sticking penalty on the Canes.
Great work by the Philadelphia Flyers.
Too many men on the ice.
All right, we are going to get a timeout. It's a too many men on the ice penalty. When we come back, it'll be a Flyer powered play. They lead 2-1 halfway through Game 2 on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Flyers hockey rocks on 93.3 WMMR.
Playoff hockey in Philly hits different, and Acme knows it. Born in Philadelphia in 1891, Acme's been the go-to neighborhood grocer for Philly sports fans ever since. Through every shift, save, and playoff run, and from pregame meals to postgame celebrations, we're proud to serve the city that never stops believing. Acme, Philly born in 1891, proudly serving our hometown communities for 135 years.
All the action on the ice giving you the chills? Break away to the hottest game in town, Delilah's. Let the world's most beautiful showgirls warm you up as you claim the game on Delilah's giant video walls. Or skate in after the game. Your ticket stub gives you free admission. Ready for a real power play? Come to Delilah's, voted America's #1 gentleman's club. Just off Delaware Avenue and just out of this world. Delilah's, where body checking is a way of life. Details now at delilahs.com.
Hi, everyone. Julie Stewart-Binks here, along with former NHLer Nate Thompson. Join us on Energy Line as we share our takes, stories, and surprise guests every week. Patrick Kane, 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Team USA head coach Mike Sullivan, 6-time Stanley Cup champion Mark Messier.
With over 800 NHL games, I know a couple guys.
Biz didn't have Twitter. No one knew who he was. So I called Whit, and I'm like, how's Biz? He was like, I'm telling you right now, you're going to hate him. Then he'll be your best friend.
Listen on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts,
or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get all your area concert information, dates, tickets, and more right now at WMMR.com.
Shop the Ignite the Orange collection and more team apparel, including jerseys, hats, tees, and more at Outfitters Team Store, Xfinity Mobile Arena. Open tomorrow and Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Well, both teams have now been caught with too many men on the ice. This one going against Carolina, and Philadelphia about to get their 4th power play chance. They're 1 for 3, and their 1 goal was the only shot they've had on 3 powered plays. Carolina, meanwhile, has had 8 on theirs. Into the middle, Drysdale gives it to Konechny. Konechny batted it back out to center. So the Flyers regroup. From his own line, Trevor Zegras finds Konechny. Konechny step in, right wing pass, Cates on the wall. Lost it in traffic, and Carolina's Jordan Staal will just backhand it down the ice. Flyers spend way too much time trying to get set up in the offensive zone.
That's part of the power play, is the breakout and entry. Right now, Carolina is just shutting it down.
Zegras gives it up to Konechny, cuts across the line, left wing pass, gets it back from Forster. Forster on the half boards now. Behind the net, Konechny in front, and Zegras' shot lifted up over the goal. That ends up into the netting above the glass and out of play. Good setup there.
Good setup. It's a tic-tac-toe play. Zegras is in a dangerous spot. He gets it off quick. Anderson doesn't even move. He hits the net here. I think this one's going in. But he just misses it wide and high.
Flyer power play goals in the playoffs. Drysdale's got 1 tonight for Philadelphia. The other ones are Zegras and Noah Cates. Now it's Dvorak leading in. He's out with Porter Martone, Denver Barkey, Michkov, and Ristolainen. Barkey's going to come in and take the faceoff and actually wins that. Michkov shovels it into the corner, but it ends up on the wrong side of the glass and out of play. Boy, Matvei Michkov on the man advantage should be quite a weapon with his ability to make plays in tight spaces, but now they're going to change the unit.
It's one of the things the Flyers are having a tough time in the last 2 games is starting with that puck and even getting that puck for possession.
Couturier on the draw. Super to the left of Freddie Anderson. And the Flyer captain is able to win it. The Flyers Konechny pushes it back. Jamie Drysdale avoids the pressure of Jordan Staal. Staal on him. Got it to Konechny. Across at the right point. Zegras teed it up. Drysdale looking at the net. Took a shot. He sailed it high and wide. Zegras will go to get it into the right wing corner. He'll got it behind the net. Back from Couturier. Gloved it down, placed it to the line. To the near circle, and Forster unable to take the one-timer on that pass from Drysdale. Bouncing puck behind the net. Zegras unable to get it to Konechny. Canes break it up but can't clear. Drysdale to the right point. To the corner, tip below the goal line. Zegras got it to Konechny out of the left point corner. Forster across to the far side. Zegras. Canes keeping him on the perimeter though. And Drysdale flipped the shot to the net. It was gloved down. Couturier took it away from Keandre Miller. Couturier upended behind the net. Separated from the puck. The loose puck, the Canes get to it and nudge it out to center. With 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Flyers right back in. Zegras for Couturier, but he was pressured, and Martinook turned it out into the neutral zone. Flyers make a change. Right back in. Ristolainen chipped it off the glass. They get a piece of him. Martinook on the puck first. Tees it up for Keandre Miller, and a good clear by the Canes. Penalty is over. Carolina's Taylor Hall is back out. Sanheim through traffic, got in. A centering pass, the bouncing puck, and just eludes Porter Martone in the slot, and Carolina's able to clear the zone to center. Dvorak out there right now with Porter Martone.
Back to 5-on-5 now, Tim. Flyers got to get back to 5-on-5 hockey.
Icing called here against Philadelphia, so the Canes kill it off, and the Flyers did not, again, have a single shot on that power play.
Well, they knew coming into this one they're not going to be getting anything on the power play, and they're going to have to stay off of the penalty kill themselves. It's a 5-on-5 game that the Flyers have the best chance, and they've got to keep it this way.
San Risto defensively, it's Dvorak now with Alex Bump and Porter Martone. Those are guys that don't spend as much time killing penalties, so they're out together. And the Canes win the faceoff. Mike Riley shot. Oh, a nice glove save through traffic. Vladar found it late, but he's got it, and he'll hold on. We get another timeout on the ice. 7:42 to go here in the second period in Carolina. Flyers lead the Canes 2-1 on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
Playoff hockey in Philly hits different, and Acme knows it. Born in Philadelphia in 1891, Acme's been the go-to neighborhood grocer for Philly sports fans ever since. Through every shift, save, and playoff run, and from pregame meals to postgame celebrations, we're proud to serve the city that never stops believing. Acme, Philly born in 1891, proudly serving our hometown communities for 135 years.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
FW Webb for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. FW Webb supports all customers from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Webb has what you need when and where you need it. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast. Visit FWWeb.com for a location near you.
Join in the conversation and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. 93.3 WMMR.
Become a Flyers season ticket member for the 2026-27 season and gain immediate access to tickets for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs at the lowest available price. Text plans to 61259 to learn more.
Well, a couple of more goals for Gear scored in the first period by Drysdale and Couturier means $275 a pop to the Learn to Play program presented by HolmanAuto.com. Flyers just not enough of a shooter's mentality, certainly on the power play. But they've got the one-goal lead.
They got the one-goal lead. Part of the problem is the pressure. It's the pressure of the penalty kill. Anytime you're trying to set up, and your back is to them, they pressure you. So they don't give you the opportunity to set up. The Flyers have to figure out some way to do that on their power play.
Well, and as we said, nothing the Canes have done in this series has been a surprise. This is just how Carolina plays. Always has been.
Yeah.
Cleared by Couturier down the ice. That one will be icing against Philadelphia. Couturier out here right now with Denver Barkey and Carl Grundstrom.
Yeah, the coaches have to manage the bench when you've got that many penalties that run in succession like that. You've got to get guys their legs back, get them back into the game, get their intensity up.
Couturier using his skate to try to control that draw. Philadelphia did push it out to center ice, where Gostisbehere will wheel it back in on a delayed offside. Knocked out of the air by Vladar, then it hit the back of the cage. And Drysdale comes to take it. Danny Drysdale to York in the corner, up the left wing. Couturier had his stick lifted. Puck goes back to York, and Cam York steps out. Deflected off the stick of Grundstrom, right to Anderson, who played it up the middle. And here's Carolina leading the charge the other way. On the left wing, they gave it up to Will Carrier, but he lost control. Played around, bounces off of Cates back to the Carolina line. Both teams trying to make a quick change. Grundstrom went to the bench. Unable to glove it down was Noah Cates. Jackson Blake, bump by Forster. Good defensive play by Tyson Forster to get back, make a play with his body. The bouncing puck, knocked back to Blake. He got a man behind the defense. Stankoven with a shot. This one handled by Vladar, and he's able to reach out and cover the rebound.
Carolina is so good at making the change to have that guy step on the ice and be an outlet in transition. Stankoven makes that change, gets on the ice, receives it on his backhand, and he's in already. Good job by Blake to get it up to him.
Once again, Stankoven's got to be the smallest center in the National Hockey League. Might be the smallest player in the NHL. And he's got such a quick shot. What a player he's turning into. Canes won another faceoff in a Philadelphia zone. Blake behind the net. Taylor Hall was going to come at the net with a backhand wraparound, but he lost control. Michkov lays it up the right wing. Chased down by Tyson Forster in the Kane end. Nudged away from him behind the goal. And Blake on the near wall gets it up the boards, and it did come out at center. Controlled by Denver Barkey. Barkey cut into the middle and lost control as he was bumped. Here's Blake on the loose puck. Spins into the Philadelphia zone. Hall in the corner behind the goal. It hopped over the stick of Blake. DeAndre Miller turned it back toward the blue line. Stankoven winds it in deep. They've got Blake in front. Hall couldn't control it down low, but the Flyers give it right back to the Canes. Penalty coming up on Philadelphia. On the delayed call again. Mike Riley on the near board. Sandwiched between two Flyers as Philadelphia gains control. The parade to the penalty box continues. It's high stick on Denver Barkey.
Now this is a tough one. Denver Barkey's just trying to finish the hit.
All right, we get another time on the ice. When we come back, it will be a Kane man advantage. 2-1 Flyers with the lead on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
All the action on the ice giving you the chills? Break away to the hottest game in town, Delilah's. Let the world's most beautiful showgirls warm you up as you claim the game on Delilah's giant video walls. Or skate in after the game. Your ticket stub gives you free admission. Ready for a real power play? Come to Delilah's, voted America's #1 gentleman's club. Just off Delaware Avenue and just out of this world. Delilah's, where body checking is a way of life. Details now at delilahs.com.
Playoff hockey in Philly hits different, and Acme knows it. Born in Philadelphia in 1891, Acme's been the go-to neighborhood grocer for Philly sports fans ever since. Through every shift, save, and playoff run, and from pregame meals to postgame celebrations, we're proud to serve the city that never stops believing. Acme, Philly born in 1891, proudly serving our hometown communities for 135 years.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Shop the Rock Shop at WMMR.com for the latest MMR gear.
Calling all camps, Hooked on Hockey makes its return this season, introducing kids to hockey in a fun, beginner-friendly way. For more information on how to get hooked on hockey at your camp, visit philadelphiaflyers.com.
Fifth penalty taken by the Flyers tonight. Here comes Carolina's fifth man advantage. Denver Barkey goes for high sticking. And the Canes again bring out Svechnikov on the power play with Sebastian Aho. Gostisbehere at the point. Seth Jarvis on the other side. The faceoff stall won that, and Aho controls on the wall. Down low to Nick Ehlers behind the goal. Out Gostisbehere, top right circle. Back to Ehlers. He'll set up on the right wing half boards. To the point. Gostisbehere teed it up. One-timer, and Jarvis fired it high and wide. Controlled by Svechnikov, but he misses the pass back to Gostisbehere. And a race for the puck. Couturier is going to get to it first. He's cut off, though. Couturier cut into the middle. Took a shot along the ice short-handed. And a save by Freddie Anderson.
Man, Sean Couturier has been an absolute beast tonight.
Couturier's got it free in the Carolina end. He had Konechny, actually Cates in front, but couldn't get it there. What an effort by Sean Couturier, though.
Yeah, that's the captain of the Philadelphia Flyers. Doing a good job.
Sebastian Aho over the line. Left it for Gostisbehere. Jarvis goes in front. They play it out left point. Ehlers back across off the stick of Gostisbehere. He's pressured in the corner there by Cam York. The bouncing puck. Aho holds it in. Hit a Flyer in front, and then bouncing puck just tipped away from Jarvis. Cleared to the line, but not out. Good keep in by the Canes. And Philadelphia finally finds it and tucks it back into the Carolina end. There's good a change made on the PK. 45 seconds left in the Barkey penalty. And Gostisbehere starts out again. He'll leave it right side. Here's Stankoven. Chipped it across at the line. They gain the zone. Nick Ehlers goes in behind the net. They work it out. Keandre Miller's shot handled by Vladar. That hit him in the mask. The headgear comes off. They get it blown dead. And Vladar having a conversation with Nick Ehlers, or Nick Seeler here.
Yeah, he quickly kicked that helmet off. The ref was right there to blow that whistle down quickly.
I'm assuming it was the puck and not Seeler that collided with his own netminder. It was the puck that hit Vladar. And we said, and I don't know if it's because of his height and the fact that that height allows him to go to his knees, but he gets hit more in the head than any goalie in the league.
Yeah. They didn't see, the fans are booing here. They don't see the clip come off, the band come off of the back.
Flyers win another faceoff. That's key on the penalty kill, and Luke Glendening wires it all the way down the ice. 22 seconds left in the 5th Carolina power play. Here come the Canes again. Keandre Miller headbanding up the left wing, broke it up on a good defensive play there by Couturier. Unable to feed Glendening at the Carolina line, but the Canes are going to turn back in behind their own net. Standing up in the box, Denver Barkey waiting to come out. Up the right wing, Jackson Blake hits the Flyer line. Into the middle, Stankoven trying to pull it to his backhand. Lost control. They've got Barkey out of the box, and they couldn't get it to him. The long lead pass will negate an icing because he gets there. Barkey comes from behind the goal, teed it up. A shot by York got through, and a save by Freddie Anderson. And the Canes lift it back to the Philadelphia line where it's wrapped the other way. And Chatfield plays it off the near boards. Just eludes Halbach's bump. Bump on the near boards, tipped it into the Kane end. Tried to sidestep his man to get there, but Keandre Miller helps out. Over to Stankoven, and Carolina headbands the other way. His pass at the Philadelphia line off the stick of Will Carrier. Back for that. York absorbed the hit to make a play, and Philadelphia will lift it down the ice. Just over 3 minutes left in this second period. A 2-1 Flyer lead. Steered back in. Neither team able to score in this second period despite all the power plays. Svechnikov in the far corner trying to spin away from Dvorak. Got it in behind the net. Jordan Martinook is there. Martinook pushed to the corner by Andre. At the left point, they wind it back behind the net. Just down to the reach of a man. Another penalty coming up. Here it's going to be a high stick on Carolina as Christian Dvorak got clipped. And with 2:42 left in the period, the Flyers will get another man advantage.
High stick behind the play. Yeah, you're right. Dvorak got it. I don't think he's got this. Is only going to be a 2-minute.
This is 5 power plays for both teams before the second period is over.
You know what, Tim? Both penalty kills for each team is doing a tremendous job. Flyers having a tough time breaking entry and setting up. And then for the Flyers PK, they're not giving them much. You can set up in that zone, but you're not getting much through the middle of the ice.
Well, let's see what they change on this power play. One change for sure. They've got Couturier out here to win the draw. 73% on faceoffs in the playoffs. That's probably a smart move. They have the captain out to take the draw. Controlled in the circle by Carolina, though, and Martinook will backhand it back into the Philadelphia zone. Couturier went to the bench, replaced by Noah Cates. Drysdale lays it up the right wing, connecting at center ice. Cuts into the middle, dropped into Drysdale. Drysdale dances in over the line. Off his ticket, went right to Noah Cates. Cates has got 2 men on him, though, and the Canes get it to the line. Good keeping for a moment, but now Martinook will drive it all the way down. Again, setting up in the offensive zone is the issue. Drysdale will leave it in front of his own net. Here's Zegras and Konechny coming through center together. Zegras hits the line, right wing pass, knocked down by Cates. He'll chase it down to the right wing corner. Turn to make a play into the middle. Konechny gets it to the line. Near side, Tyson Forster, top left circle. Back to Drysdale. Cates has got Zegras down low. Chatfield broke that up. Carolina gains control, though, and they'll clear all the way down. Drysdale for Tyson Forster. Turns with a minute left in the man advantage. He'll lug the puck to the Carolina line. On the right wing, gave it to Noah Cates, trying to navigate through traffic. Batted away from him and all the way back into the Flyer end of the ice. Both teams will make a change.
That's the idea. Noah Cates, you got to beat a guy one-on-one. He's trying to generate something on entry.
Porter Martone at the line. Dvorak dropped it to Zegras. Michkov back in front, going to the net, and a shot off the glove of Freddie Anderson, and prone on the ice. He reaches out and covers it.
A nice little play. Dvorak's going to the net. He's looking back door. Freddie Anderson takes away the bottom of the net. Porter Martone. This one hits the post, as we see on the replay. Almost gets in.
Porter.
Nice little play by Dvorak.
Yep. Between Dvorak and Porter Martone, you can't come any closer than that. It was Dvorak's shot that actually hit the post, and Anderson spreads out and able to cover it. Nice setup, though, by Matvei Michkov to Christian Dvorak, cutting to the goal. So they'll leave that unit out. 36 seconds left in the fifth Flyer power play. Flyers have one shot so far, and then that post. Denver Barkey's going to come and take the draw after Dvorak was tossed out. He wins it. Christian Dvorak on the half hold of Martone. He'll leave it for Denver Barkey. Barkey's got Michkov at the far post, and they can't get it to the point. And the Flyers send it all the way back into their own end. Nadar out of the goal. Here's Ristolainen. 20 seconds left in the power play. Final minute of play in the second. Flyers trying to add to their 1-goal lead. Martone hits the line. Got through traffic. Trying to backhand it in front. Deflected back to Rasmus Ristolainen. Right side, Michkov tipped it off the wall. Barkey trying to get free of Robinson. Michkov gets it back from Dvorak. He'll go wide into the far corner. Skates in behind the net. Back to the side of the goal, and it bounces away from Denver Barkey. Carolina back at even strength. They carry in a centering pass and shoveled up over the net as the Canes had a 10-bell look. That was Mark Jankowski. Flyers dig it free deep, and Ristolainen's outlet pass picked off. Oh, Blake had a man cutting to the net, and it was stripped away from Taylor Hall. The Flyers get it out. 15 seconds left in the period. Couturier had his pocket picked from behind, and then he did the same to Blake. And it's knocked down in deep in behind the Kane end. They whistle it as an offside. And the faceoff will come out at center with 8 seconds left in the period. What a chance by Mark Jankowski after Carolina's fifth penalty had just expired. Still 2-1 Flyers. The faceoff will come to center. And the Flyers hope to be able to take this 1-goal lead to the room after the second period. Philadelphia 21-1-3 when they lead after one. They were 26-0-3 in the regular season when they took a lead into the room after two. That will be the case tonight. The bouncing puck at center, jammed back into the Philadelphia zone with a horn sounds, and the second period comes to an end. Neither team able to add anything in the second period.
Yeah, Flyers need a better third period. They got through that one. Vladar played strong, and they got to stay out of the penalty box.
Canes outshot the Flyers 15-10 in the period. It's 2-1 Flyers after 40 minutes of play. Stay tuned. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez have our second intermission. That's coming up when we return to the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Flyers hockey rocks on 93.3 WMMR.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with your family's favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how everybody gets a delicious meal they'll love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
Xfinity tech support. I can't get Jurassic Park back online without... But no worries. Our Wi-Fi boosted mobile keeps you connected in all kinds of places.
Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Hey Flyers fans, elevate your Xfinity Mobile Arena experience with a membership at Prime Point Social. With a unique in-venue dining experience, a curated Philadelphia-inspired culinary program, and an intimate atmosphere overlooking all the action, Prime Point Social is the place to be this season. As a Prime Point Social member, you have access to an array of amenities and exclusive opportunities. Take your game day experience to the next level with a membership that fits your entertainment needs. For more information on how to become a Flyers Prime Point Social member, give us a call today at 215-218-7825.
Now, back to the Flyers intermission reports. Here's Jason Martinez and Brian Smith.
Flyers lead the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1 after 2 periods of play now here at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. Game 2 of this second round series between the clubs. The series now will shift back to Philadelphia after this game here tonight. A couple of days off for both of these clubs before it resumes with Game 3 on Thursday night at 8 o'clock at Xfinity Mobile Arena. And then Game 4 will be on Saturday at 6 p.m. Flyers are trying to ensure this series comes back here for a Game 5. And if that were to happen, that would be early next week. The Flyers, again, would just be absolutely thrilled to come out of here with a split here tonight. They're 20 minutes away from being able to pull that off. But if they do force that Game 5, that'll be May 11th right back here in Raleigh. I think that's a week from tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So, it's next Monday night. So we'll see where it goes. But, again, it was a period, Jason, where the Flyers were – honestly, I mean, up here, I'm just hoping that they make it to the intermission here still with the lead, and they managed to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's big, to make it to the intermission, regroup, and come out here in the third period and just concentrate, boil it down to its smallest, next shift, and win the period, win the game, get a split, come home 1-1 against Carolina. You've gone on the road and you've done your job. So they come out of the period. I think they were outshot 16-10 in the period, but a total of 26 shots is pretty remarkable against Carolina, a team that will throw a lot of shots on their own at the net, hence the 26 now through 2 periods of play. But the Flyers with 16 shots, so they're getting a lot more to Freddie Anderson. And Tim mentioned this, Carolina kind of doing to Dan Vladar what we'd like to see the Flyers do a little bit more of to Freddie Anderson, really crowding around the blue paint, making it difficult for him to navigate and play his position unencumbered, if you will. The Flyers have done it a little bit tonight. Like to see more of it. Canes have done a lot of it tonight, and Dan Vladar's dealt with it. So those are good things for the Flyers, and you just got to get the sense here watching this game that it's going to have to be one of those ones that Dan Vladar's going to have to be just otherworldly again for you to come out of here and keep this team at bay and get that split.
Yeah, I mean, just go ahead and steal it. I mean, to this point...
No problem, right?
Yeah, the Flyers have 23 shot attempts in this game, 16 on goal, 7 that have not made it to the net. That is fewer total shot attempts than the Hurricanes have just shots on goal. They've got 26 at the moment. Again, that could change. They got another 27 that have not made it to the net, and that's just the kind of game it is right now because, again, this Hurricanes team is, we saw in that second period a lot of what we saw in the first half, I think, of game one, where they're just absolutely stifling in terms of not allowing time and space. There is no time and space out there for the Philadelphia Flyers, especially on these power plays that they had there in that second period. And so, that's the conversation I'm having if I'm in there is how do we deal with that style of defense? And the simple question is, you have to anticipate it more, right? You have to make sure that you know where your next pass is going before that puck hits your stick.
Absolutely. I mean, the Canes have been playing this system, with the exception of a few players like Stanko when he came over last year in that deal for Rantanen. They've been playing together for a long time. They don't think. They play sheerly on instinct and repetition, and they know where everybody's going to be. So when you're playing against them, you've got to try and match their thought, the way they attack and think the game so quickly by doing that on your side. And that's been a key. The Flyers have played much better tonight in anticipating what's going to happen and anticipating where their players are going when they have the puck offensively. And I got to tell you, I've had a text with a couple of people tonight who wound the clock back on Sean Couturier. It's been all playoffs long now at this point. I mean, somebody texted me and said, well, as far back as 23. I said 26 to somebody, but Jesus, he been unbelievable in this game.
It's pre-surgery. No question about that.
Yeah, I mean, even in the chances, scoring and everything, boy, just the diligence and with the stick and the board battles. He has been an unbelievable story of this postseason.
Maybe it's the Southern air, because Jordan Stahl also looks like Connor McDavid out here in this series, and he's 38 years old. So I don't know what that's all about. So, I mean, it's the veterans here in this game that are keeping things going. Let's get you those 2 Flyer goals in case you joined us late, because they happened early in the game. The Flyers had a 2-0 lead before this game was 5 minutes old, and they scored their goals 39 seconds apart early in the first period. The first one coming on the power play. Jamie Drysdale had a puck come to him out of a scrum in front of the net, and he snaps one through traffic, beating Freddie Anderson for the Flyers' first lead of this series. First time Carolina's trailed in these playoffs. It's 1-0.
Flyers turn right back in. Travis Konechny carries in up the line, gave the right wing. Zegras in front. Forcer unable to settle the bouncing puck. Into the slot, Jamie Drysdale shoots. He scores! Jamie Drysdale on the power play. Wires one top corner. His second goal of the playoffs. And Philadelphia had their first period goal of this series. And in this playoff year, the Flyers take the early lead.
Drysdale's goal is unassisted right now as that puck came out off a poke check from Freddie Anderson. But again, Jason, for them to get that lead early is huge because, again, they for their psyche, but they're also putting Carolina in a spot that they have not been in maybe 3 weeks from playing from behind.
Against the Flyers, probably, when they clinched that night, second last game of the year. Maybe the last time they trailed, and that was overtime, if I recall.
Yeah.
And that
wasn't even really the Hurricanes.
Yeah, there was like 6 or 7 guys out of their lineup, key players like Aho and the like. But, for the first time in the playoffs, they got to look up at the scoreboard and see themselves not leading a game. For the first time in these playoffs, they go to the locker room not once now, but twice, trailing a game. So you wonder how they're going to react. And Rob Brindamore's probably wondering that as well. He has to like the period they played in the second, coming out trailing for the first time. But Look, no blood drawn in that second period, and you're in the same exact spot you were after the first.
39 seconds later, a huge second goal for the Flyers on the very next shift. It's Sean Couturier having a monster game, and he cashes in to make it 2-0.
Rasmus Ristolainen knocked it down on the wall. Couturier had it spun past him. And with a clearing attempt, Riley Carom going off a Flyer, finds it again, but lost control. Here's a bad angle shot. Grundstrom in behind the net. In front, they score! It's Sean Couturier at point-blank range. He pounds in his first goal of the playoffs. And less than 5 minutes into the opening period, the Flyers lead it 2-0.
It is Couturier from Grundstrom is the only assist right now on that goal, 441. But again, a huge fourth-line goal and an all-important 2-goal lead at that point.
Yeah, and Cooch just went down and went into the low post and, dug in there. He was not going to be moved from the top of that crease. He's out there like old school, 3 points of pressure, both feet and the stick and he's anchored, right? And there's nothing that's going to move him. Two players tried to move him at one point, and then Gostisbehere starts chasing the play for some reason and leads Couturier all by himself. And a good pass from Grundstrom, who made a good decision on the forecheck, and boom, it's in the back of the net. 2 goals in 39 seconds. And we're going, wow, what a difference. What a start. Way to adjust. And look, Carolina's adjusted in this game, but the Flyers have been but not broken to that will again. So great job by the Flyers so far through 2 periods of play. Hang on tight. If you got fingernails, we'll see if you have them at the end of the night.
You need Malox, whatever it is that you need here. It's one of those nights, and it's, again, when you have a game like this, your goaltender's going to have to be your best player, and that has been the case tonight. Very, very, very close call, I think. Who's better a game right now is between Sean Couturier and Dan Vladar, who has made 25 saves in this game, just 1 dent in his armor, coming off of a power play goal in that first period to make it 2-1, but he was spectacular, especially in that second period.
Kane set it up again. Jarvis back to Aho. Aho to Gostisbehere. Aho curls from the top of the circle in front. The puck that just wide to that. Off the stick there is Svechnikov. Gostisbehere with a drive. That was knocked away by Vladar, and Philadelphia unable to clear. Here's Nick Eaters again to the top of the shot. Kicked away. Great left hand save by Dan Vladar. Kane set it up again. Jarvis back to Aho. Aho to Gostisbehere. Aho curls from the top of the circle in front. The puck that just wide to that. Off the stick there is Svechnikov. Gostisbehere with a drive. That was knocked away by Vladar, and Philadelphia unable to clear. Here's Nick Eaters again to the top of the shot. Kicked away. Great left hand save by Dan Vladar. Back into the right wing half boards at the hash mark. Gostisbehere to the blue line. Jarvis covering there. Back to Gostisbehere now. Jarvis with a drive. Knocked down in front. The scramble in the goal mouth. It stayed out. The loose puck is still free. And the Canes turned it over to the far wall. And that'll get to center ice at the line and played back in offside. The Canes started to celebrate, but Dan Vladar was able to knock that away right on the line.
And he got a little help from Travis Sanheim, and it's the rare occasion that a defenseman's going to get our Bank of America save of the game there, Jason, as he pulls that one right off the line.
Yeah, Dan Vladar singing, I get a save with a little help from my friends. And Sanheim.
Team effort.
Yep, and Sanheim, so calm, so aware. I've watched this from the behind the net shot 6 times. He just sees it come through the 5 holes. It gets knocked down, trickling towards the goal line. No panic. Let me just get my stick in here, and we'll just sweep that sucker out. Boy, that's when you know a guy is dialed in. Sanheim with the Bank of America 10-bell save of the game.
Well, the Flyers are 20 minutes away from tying this series up. We'll see if they can pull it off. That's going to do it for this edition of the Flyers Intermission Report. When we come back in just a moment, Tim Saunders and Todd Fedork will have the third period for you here from Lenovo Center in Raleigh, where after 2 periods of play, it's the Flyers 2 and the Carolina Hurricanes 1. Back after this on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
I'm Kelly Munson, President and CEO of Independence Blue Cross. Playoff hockey is back in Philadelphia, and we know we can count on the orange and black to deliver passion, grit, and resilience on the ice. Off the ice, you can count on IBX to serve the people of our great city all year long. For more than 85 years, we've been here when you need us, and we're proud to be the official health insurance partner of the Flyers as they compete for the Stanley Cup. From one home team to another.
Let's go Flyers!
FW Webb for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. FW Web supports all customers, from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Web has what you need when and where you need it. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast. Visit FWWeb.com for a location near you.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Fans, discover the Legacy Club in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, where every day is a chance to create lasting memories. From its stunning golf course to distinctive dining options and family-friendly amenities, the Legacy Club offers something for everyone. Whether you're perfecting your golf game, enjoying a gourmet meal, or attending their exciting social or family events, the Legacy Club is your happy place. For details, visit thelegacyclub.com. That's thelegacyclub.com.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Xfinity tech support. I can't get Jurassic Park back online without... But no worries. Our Wi-Fi boosted mobile keeps you connected in all kinds of places.
Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. Everything that rocks.
He continues to play like he's 23, not 33 or 34. Sean Couturier, the Flyer captain, continues to turn the clock back. He's been the best Flyer forward tonight. A goal, he's +1. He's had 4 shots to lead the team and won 6 of 9 faceoffs thus far in the game. Philadelphia with a 2-1 lead as we head to the 3rd period of Game 2 here in Raleigh. With Todd Fedora and Tim Saunders back at Lenovo Center for 3rd period action. Parade to the penalty box. Both teams, Bridge, have been guilty of it, and neither coach is going to be happy about it.
Nope. Both coaches are going to be pretty upset with their teams with the amount of trips to the box, and the reason being is it messes up the flow of the game. It doesn't get players into the game as well, and you're caught on the bench trying to get players back involved. 5-on-5 hockey for the 3rd period sounds like good hockey to me, eh, Tim?
On the road, the Flyers win 1 period. They can even this series at a game apiece. Flyers control, but failed to get it in deep at the Carolina blue line, and there's going to be an icing called here against the Canes. Flyers starting the 3rd period with Trevor Zegras, Travis Konechny, and Christian Dvorak, but now they're going to change up. Michkov comes out with Forster and Cates. Flyers go left to right here in the 2nd. And so this faceoff will be in the circle to the left of Freddie Anderson. He's been pretty solid. 14 saves on 16 shots. I don't think the Flyers have yet made his life difficult enough. It's off a Kane stick to center. Right to the Flyer defenseman, Jamie Drysdale, but he turned the puck over. And now the Flyers get it back and shovel it in. And after it, Michkov. Chatfield won the race. Swings it up the right wing, and Jordan Stahl, the other veteran in this game that's playing like he's way younger than he is. He and Couturier have a long history as opponents. Drysdale behind the net, took a hit from Martinook, but played the puck around the wall, and it's going to be deflected up over the glass out of play.
Stahl and Couturier, the 2 wily veterans. A lot of years these 2 guys have played against each other. Pretty much their entire careers. Both playing some good hockey, playoff hockey tonight. Kind of the same type of player as well. Stahl and Couturier.
Jordan Stahl has 38 goals in 167 career playoff games. Shoveled in deep in behind the Kane net. The first one getting there is Carl Grundstrom. He set up the second goal for the Flyers. So Rick Tocchet pushed the right button there, getting Carl Grundstrom in the lineup for the first time. Emil Andre defensively with Nick Cedar, and Andre winds it in deep. Anderson onto the net, plays it over the head of Grundstrom, and at center ice, Eric Robinson unable to get to that. Cedar played it away. Up the left wing, Grundstrom cut off by Gostisbehere, reaching back. Will Carrier plays the puck the other way. Carrier gets the red line and dishes it in. Eric Robinson in on the forecheck, lifted the stick of Emil Andre, and they just failed to get it back on Robinson in behind the net. Now down low, here's Aho. He'll play it out left point. Keandre Miller with traffic in front of the net. Fired it wide. Another penalty coming up. A high stick call here. And Svechnikov is questioning the call. He got the stick up on Christian Dvorak. And it's going to be Svechnikov that goes back in.
Now this is right in line of sight with the ref. Sees this right away. Svechnikov's trying to break free from front of the net. Just catches Dvorak in this visor. It's an automatic call when the stick comes up that high. And you get the Boo Birds come out because it's not much of a tap, but it doesn't matter. Contact with the helmet with a stick is a penalty.
Yeah, you can boo all you want.
Can boo all you want, kids.
That's the second straight high-sticking penalty on Svechnikov. So he's in. The Flyers will try this again on the power play. 1 for 5 on the man advantage with 2 shots. And Couturier is back out to try to win a faceoff. Couturier against Stahl. 2 veterans battle it. Couturier wins the draw. Denver Parkey's got it, and his pass off a Kane stick. Michkov on the near wall, unable to get to it. At the line, it's kept in by the Flyers. Couturier gets it back from Michkov. Couturier's center pass broken up by Martinook, and he just turns and bats it down the ice.
Would have liked to see Couturier shoot that. He was looking to pass that backdoor to Barkey.
That's what we've said all night.
That's that habit, Tim. It's that habit. They get into that habit of not shooting the puck from the slot.
Yeah, got to have more of a shooter's mentality. Here's Ristolainen, backs into his own zone to reset. And Ristolainen dropped it back to Porter Martone. Martone gives it up, gets it back, stepping over the line to Barkey. Barkey back to Martone. Martone just failed to stuff it by Anderson. Anderson goes to the ice like he was shot. And it's all the way back into the Philadelphia zone. I don't know what they're arguing for. Martone just went through the crease, tried to tuck it around the netminder.
Yeah, he had the puck, too, on the stick, and he just got a whack on it. Anderson looked like he went into the post a little funny.
If he's got the puck, he's
got it right to that lane, Tim.
Absolutely. At the left point, Drysdale hammers it back in behind the net. Oh, it caromed out in front of the goal, but the Canes get to it and clear. And Anderson is still screaming at the referee as the puck goes back into the Philadelphia end. Here's Jamie Drysdale. Drysdale will drop it to Zegras with speed. He and Konechny at center. Konechny left wing pass. Zegras trying to get it back to him. Swept wide of the net. Philadelphia in after it to the far corner. Winning the race is Jankowski, and he'll get the center of the red line and scoop it back in deep.
Well, the Flyers made an adjustment on their power play breakout. They're gaining entry, coming up the middle of the ice with 2-man passing it back and forth, but then they can't set up in the offensive zone.
Zegras over skates it at center, recovers, turns, regroups in the neutral zone. Skates back over to the far side and then just dumps it into the corner. Giving chase Grundstrom. Big check on the forecheck, but Carolina got it into the near corner and an easy clear by the Canes. So the penalty is over. And Philadelphia again fails to do anything with a man advantage. Here's Sanheim up the right wing. Scoops it back in deep. In after that, Mike Riley. Bumped there by Alex Baum, but the puck is controlled by Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere sets up in behind his own goal. Now right up the middle. He gets it to Taylor Hall. Backhanded into the middle. Hall skates by that, but it's going to be offside. Crowd wanted a penalty when Hall was upended, but it's stopped because of an offside.
Well, Flyers have numbers back on the rush for the Carolina Hurricanes. They run an offside. But I like the positioning of the Philadelphia Flyers. They're really working to get back, try to negate the rush of the Carolina Hurricanes.
So this faceoff's going to come back into the neutral zone. We played 4 minutes of this third period. It's still 2-1 Flyers. They've been outshot 27-17. And again, the Flyers only had one shot on that last power play chance. Here's Konechny wheeling one in behind the net. Barkey on the far wall. Knocked down a clearing attempt. The Canes get it to Blake, and Blake turns away from Luke Glendening behind his own goal. Flyers' fourth line is out there to the Philadelphia line and controlled there by Nick Cedar. Cedar for Andre, back to Nick Cedar. Up the left wing, trying to tip that back to Couturier, and he'll send it in wide of the net. Anderson out of the goal. Played it to the near boards, and Stankoven was hit and upended by Couturier. Couturier right now is doing it all for the Flyers. The bouncing puck of the line. Knocked down by Barkey. Konechny unable to get free. And Goss-Isbear will hoist that puck out to the Philadelphia line. Jamie Drysdale and York kind of get crossed up there. The loose puck, Martinook ripped a shot up over the net. And it climbs the far wall and goes to center before the Canes put it back in. Into the near corner. Again, Drysdale was pressured and turned the puck over. Carolina rolls it in behind the net. York knocked it down on the far wall. Zegras unable to clear, but the Flyers get it out to Konechny, and Konechny will chip it off the wall and get it back to the Kane line. Carolina right back in as they bounce it in deep. Konechny behind his own goal leaves it for Ristolainen. On the left wing boards, Dvorak tipped it into the middle. Now 2-on-1 for the Flyers if they hurry. Zegras and Konechny. Zegras goes to the net, pushed off the puck behind by Jordan Staal. Great recovery by the veteran Jordan Staal as Zegras just waited too long.
End of a shift for Zegras and Jordan Staal as well, but he doesn't take a penalty. Good play.
Aho cuts in, tried to feed the blue line. A Flyer falls. That was Michkov, but he's able to push it into the neutral zone before the Canes send it back in. Ladar behind his own goal to the corner, and Sanheim will lift that puck back to the Kane line. Hurrying back there is Slavin. The Anderson, the goaltender, came out and played it away. Now Svechnikov on the left wing. Stepped into the Philadelphia zone. Behind the back pass. Off the stick of Seth Jarvis. The Flyers get to the loose puck, and Martone controls as he steps to center. Gets the red line. Good play. Took a hit, but got it in deep.
Yeah, great couple strides in the neutral zone. Make sure he gets that red line. Knows he's going to get hit, but makes the play anyways. Great play by Martone.
Well, Seth Jarvis from his own line. Bats it up the left wing, tipped away from Svechnikov, and that's going to be an offside against Carolina. They're actually going to bring the faceoff back into the Kane end with 13:32 on the clock. Well, you're right. Zegras was late in a shift. He didn't have a lot left in the tank, and as he was trying to survey his chances or his options, Staal got to him and knocked it off his stick.
You can tell he just didn't have the stride, Zegras.
Canes win a faceoff, flip it out at center. Svechnikov knocked away from him by Denver Barkey, and Barkey turns it up the right wing into the zone. Ristolainen angled to the wall by Blake. Bats it into the corner on the far side, and getting there is Stankoven. He'll clear right to a Flyer at his own line. It's Travis Sanheim. Sanheim to Ristolainen. Up the near side, bump by Alex Bump in, but when Barkey touches it, they're going to whistle the Flyers as offside. We get a timeout on the ice. About 7 minutes gone in the third. It's still a 2-1 Flyers lead here in Game 2 on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Xfinity tech support. I can't get Jurassic Park back online without... But no worries. Our Wi-Fi boosted mobile keeps you connected in all kinds of places.
Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Hear Preston and Steve mornings on MMR and watch the show free on YouTube.
Reserve your Flyers club seat membership for the 2026-27 season and get priority access to tickets for this year's Stanley Cup playoffs, along with access to all Xfinity Mobile Arena events. Text club to 61259 to learn more.
Well, Fridge, the Flyers have given up 27 shots, but they have limited the Canes for the most part. Only the one goal scored by Carolina. That was Nick Ehlers on the power play. I think their concentration's got to be keep the rest of this game 5-on-5.
I agree 100%. The 5-on-5 game the Flyers are playing gives them possession time. And tonight, that's what they're doing. They're playing the right way. Not making mistakes coming through the neutral zone. And stingy hockey for the Flyers.
Flyers get it back in deep. Behind the net is Shane Gostisbehere. He'll direct traffic. Watched by Couturier. And up the left wing. Here comes Eric Robinson with good speed. The Del Mar, New Jersey native stood up, wrapped it in deep behind the net. Cedar reaching for it, took a hit. Puck goes into the corner and spun him behind the net away from Robinson. Will Carrier out there. The other forward is Mark Jankowski. Centering pass off a Flyer skate to the side of the net. And another penalty coming up here as the Kane was upended at the side of the goal. And Carolina's about to get their sixth power play, and it might be more than 2 minutes. Jankowski was, actually Will Carrier was hit up high, and he's trying to bleed. I don't know how you try to bleed, but he's trying to bleed.
He's biting the inner side of his lip, trying to get some blood there.
Officials are going to come together, huddle.
Well, there was no call, that's why. There was just a whistle blown down.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this. It's
there's going to be a high stick.
Emile Andre, to me, you're right, they haven't officially ruled a penalty. And if the referees didn't see it, the linesman can weigh in on a high stick. Andre waiting for word whether he's going to have to come across the ice of the penalty box. Two captains are in the area as the conversation continues. And let's see if we get a call here. I'm not sure we're gonna. Boy,
we didn't see it. It's the only thing you can really say. And they're trying to look for it on the replay here.
Let's hear.
Philadelphia penalty, 39, 2 minutes roughing.
It's a roughing penalty, and it's on Matvei Michkov. And they got the wrong guy.
They got the wrong guy.
It was Emile Andre, not Michkov. Flyers should not argue that because they'd rather have Michkov coming out of the penalty box. They're going to send Andre over, even though they announced it wrong. And Andre will get a roughing penalty.
Yeah, he just changed it. It's going to be Andre. And it's the shot that he's trying to make a play in front of the net. Andre is. And unfortunately, the stick comes up.
Problem is, if it's not a high sticking penalty, if they call it roughing, the linesman isn't supposed to be able to call that. Not that he did, but they did not rule it on penalty immediately. Clearing attempt fails, and Carolina sets up on their sixth power play. The Flyers knock it free, and Sean Couturier heads up the ice shorthanded. Got to the Carolina line. He's got a man going in front, and off the stick of Sanheim. Luke Glendening puts a body on a man in the corner. He's outnumbered down low. Great effort by Glendening to keep that puck tied up as power play time getting away from the Canes. Now they settle it behind their own net.
Well, that's a big job by Glendening. 30 seconds kills off with just a little bit of work down there.
Stankoven unable to get free at the line. He hounds the Flyer puck carrier down low and forces a turnover. Taylor Hall plays it middle point. Nick Ehlers back to Taylor Hall. Top of the circle, gives it low. Jackson Blake curls to the top of the circle. Again, switches spots there with Stankoven. Stankoven gives it up. Blake goes to the side of the net in front, and a shot deflected right on by Stankoven. And Vladar was there to not only make the save, but dive and cover it.
Good save by Vladar. Good job by the defenseman in front of him, too. Ristolainen and Sealer out there.
Those two are line mates together, Blake and Stankoven, and I think you can tell they've got great chemistry.
Great chemistry, and they're Their little darts around the net like that. Hard to cover for the bigger defenseman. And guys know how to use their size to their advantage.
Good left pad save there by Dan Vladar. Still with 1:04 left of power play time. And tossed out of the draw now is going to be Jordan Staal. So Aho in against Luke Glendening, and Glendening's going to be tossed out. Now the linesman comes streaking in. And now Couturier.
He must have seen something.
Will take it against Sebastian Aho. On the draw, the Flyers get it behind the net. Pressured there was York. He was spun to the ice. Philadelphia fights for control in the corner, and now they get it out. Luke Glendening stepped to center. Short-handed, the Flyers to the Kane line. Goes to the corner. Stuffs it finally behind the goal line, and the Canes only now take over. 44 seconds left in the 6th Carolina power play. Here come the Canes. Seth Jarvis gives it up. Ehlers tipped it up the left wing. Svechnikov into the zone. Turned it back to the line. Gostisbehere skates in. Right wide pass to the one-timer. Aho had to go off the heel of his stick. He knocked out a clearing attempt. Right back to Philadelphia's Cam York, and York sends it all the way down the ice. Canes are back for that. 20 seconds left in the man advantage. Whoever loses this game, they're going to be talking about their failed opportunities on the power play. And it could go either way. Back at the right point. Gostisbehere over to Ehlers. Right wide pass. And again, jumped over the stick of Sebastian Aho. Aho keeps play alive. 3 seconds left of the man advantage. The penalty is over. Down low, they work it to Nick Ehlers. That's picked off, and the Flyers will gladly throw it down the ice. I was going to say take an icing, but it went right to Freddie Anderson. So the Flyers get a change made, get fresh troops out there, and kill off the power play. Now the Canes lay it up the right wing. That's picked off and sent back in by Nick Sealer. Jacob Slavin on the end boards. Check got it to the line. Didn't come out of the zone. The Flyers wrap it over to the near boards. But again, Jake Slavin will send it ahead to center. Tipped into the Flyer line and lifted right back out. Dvorak kicked that at the Carolina blue line as he was trying to get out. They're going to call that intentional offside. We get a timeout on the ice. The faceoff will be back in the Flyer end when we return. 9:44 to go in the third. It's 2-1 Flyers on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Flyers hockey rocks on 93.3 WMMR.
When this is the sound of a waterfall in nature, there's no cause for concern. But when it's the sound of water gushing through your living room ceiling because a pipe bursts inside the wall, there's reason to panic unless you pick up the phone and call 1-800-SERVPRO. Only the cleanup and restoration specialists at ServPro can help make fire and water damage like it never even happened. So make the call to 1-800-SERVPRO at the first sign of water damage. Franchises are independently owned and operated.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Stick check. It's snack time, Flyers fans. So ditch those tiny, bland, boring mozzarella sticks and level up with Big Mott's. Made with 100% whole milk mozzarella and real fresh ingredients. We've raised the bar on flavor, so whether you're at the arena for the game or making a pit stop at Wegmans, Big Mott's sticks deliver the crispy, cheesy perfection you need. Stick check. Pick up Big Mott's at the Flyers game or Wegmans and taste what you've been missing.
Download the latest WMMR app and take us with you wherever you go.
Text hockey to 61259 to sign up for Flyers text messages. You'll receive special ticket offers, exclusive content, breaking news, and more.
Past the halfway point of the third period, Flyers trying to split these first two games in Raleigh and take a series tied 1-1 back home for Game 3 Thursday night. It's an 8 o'clock start at Xfinity Mobile Arena Thursday. Off a draw, Chatfield shot lifted high and wide at the far point. Knocked down by Glendening as Carolina trying to keep it in the zone. It squirts loose, and Philadelphia will lift it back to the Kane line. Chatfield unable to get it to Jacob Slavin. Now in the left wing boards. Jankowski in, but unable to reach it. Now it bounces right back to him, and he'll turn it to the blue line. Canes go point to point. Chatfield sends it hard around behind the net. Zegras would have won that race, and he let Jankowski get to it first. Big hit on Emil Andre. A centering pass all the way back to the Carolina blue line. Not sure Zegras had a chance to play that.
First. You got to get in there first. That guy's going to win that loose puck race.
It's a
fortunate break for the Flyers. They got it out.
A willingness to take a hit to make a play. Into the corner. Bump. Deflected that into the middle. Porter Martone's got it, and the Flyers come through center ice. Martone with them for Barkey. Barkey back in front, and Martone couldn't get his stick down in front of the net.
Nice defensive play.
Canes on the other way. Nick Ehlers over the line. Gives it up. A shot. They score. It's hit Jarvis from the right circle. And Jarvis cuts to the top of the circle and beats Dan Vladar. And the Canes have tied it at 2.
Well, Seth Jarvis for the Carolina Hurricanes labels this one off the rush, gets a pass outside, moves to the middle of the ice, and it's a dangerous spot, and sends this one on net. This one beats Vladar.
Jarvis gets his first goal of these playoffs. Nick Ehlers, I believe, will draw the assist. Ehlers carried in, and then left it for Jarvis, who skates to the circle and beats Vladar on the glove side. Carolina has tied the score. Now Philadelphia overskates one of the Carolina end. Forster back out with Michkov and Cates as Carolina sends it in deep. Big crowd back very much in this again. Wrap back in behind the net, controlled by Sebastian Aho. He's got Svechnikov in front of the net. Back to the line, a shot through traffic. Knocked down and swept to the corner by Cates. Philadelphia unable to get to it to clear, though. And it's knocked out of the air. Travis Sanheim off the glass with a backhand. The top of the glass. That was almost up and out, which would have been a penalty. Here's Sebastian Aho going back in. He's got Svechnikov on the side of the net. Played it off his skate. Svechnikov upended, stood up there on a good hit by Sanheim. And Michkov carries to center ice. He'll back it up the right wing. Going wide is Christian Dvorak. Tried to turn back to control that in the corner. And he is upended there by Jalen Chatfield, who had his helmet ripped off. And Chatfield gets that back on his head. Back down the ice. The Canes get it in deep. Side of his own goal. Emil Andre flipped it free for Zegras, and Zegras will clear out to center before Chatfield puts it right back in. High into the air. Waiting for that puck to pounce was Andre, and the Canes get 2 men on him and take the puck away. Jacob Slavin rolls it in behind the net. Out of the reach of Andre. Jarvis tipped it for honors, and Nick Ehlers sent it to the side of the goal. Unable to find a teammate with that. The Flyers chip it back to the Carolina blue line.
Carolina just quickly turns it right back up. Even if the Flyers get fresh legs on the ice, they're applying pressure.
It's Jamie Drysdale. Now the Flyers' turn to apply some pressure as York gains center ice and winds it in deep. Philadelphia in after it. Couturier couldn't get there. Cleared to the near boards, and an easy clear. Robinson lifts it back to the Flyer line. Drysdale had a man on him, and that created another turnover. This is what the Kane forecheck does. Bouncing puck into the middle. Jankowski failed on a shot attempt. And now it's loose right back to a Flyer, and headed out is Carl Grundstrom, and he's angled and upended right in front of the Flyer bench. Did make the play and took a hit doing it. They scrambled the puck right between the two benches. Couturier knocked it out of the skates of man, flipped it over to Ristolainen, winds with a shot, and Anderson made the save down low, and it's lifted by the Canes to center. Sanheim puts it in deep again. 6:10 to go. Here in this third period, it's a 2-2 tie, and the puck is played with a hand pass and whistled down as Keandre Miller gives the glove to the face of Porter Martone.
Well, Tim, we got 6 minutes left here, a tie game. Great work by Couturier. It's coming down to the board battles, it looks like, in this game, Tim. Whoever wins the board battles for this last 6 minutes is going to end up with that next goal.
Shots are 31-19 in favor of the Canes. Now the Flyers are going to bring Cates back out to take this draw with Forster and Michkov. Michkov out onto the ice opposite Taylor Hall. It's the Stankoven line, and his goal streak is up to be ended here in this third period. A lead pass, and they're going to whistle it icing, and Taylor Hall is screaming at the linesman because he thinks he was there.
Well, he did touch that puck on the way in. The ref missed it, and this is kind of a missed call. Good, fortunate one for the Flyers.
Seeing I'm in the area, kind of getting in the ear of Taylor Hall, and he's just ignoring him because he's too busy screaming to the referee.
Yeah, he's trying to keep him from talking to the ref. The linesmen are telling him he missed this one, ref.
Yeah, so I have a feeling they're going to take this out to center, because if the officials are huddling, it's the other three officials trying to correct the one that made the call.
Now listen, this is kind of a big play. It's an offensive zone draw. They get that call wrong, and Taylor Hall did redirect that puck after the red line.
They're going to take it to center.
Yeah, it's the wrong call, so they got to reset it center.
Hall didn't control that pass, but he did touch it barely.
Yeah.
So right to take it to center. It's Cates against Stankoven.
And this is where you got to bear down, make right plays here. Flyers a few times have failed to clear, and it's hemmed them in a few times.
He's back into the Kane end. Shannon Chatfield sets up in behind his own net. They get it back across to Slavin. Now into the middle, and Jackson Blake stick handles through the middle at center ice, left wing pass. Taylor Hall in. Back to Blake. Blake going to the net. Stankoven comes in. What a save by a diving Dan Vladar, stopping the hottest goal scorer in the NHL right now. Cates outlets. Michkov had one man to beat, but he couldn't handle the pass. And look out, Carolina comes back in. Blake weeds through traffic. Here's Taylor Hall. He's in. He's got Vladar down. They wrap it around and kicked out as Stankoven was chopped at by Dan Vladar. There's a penalty coming up here. I'm not sure if it's against Stankoven or Vladar, because Vladar gave him the stick.
Yeah, and that's when the ref's hands went up. Vladar was in an awkward position. Stankoven was right in his crease. I'm not sure who this is going to go against, but it was the downward motion of Vladar.
After a great save by the Flyer netminder. And I think this is going against Philadelphia.
Original penalty on Carolina. 22 minor for goaltender interference. Number 80 for Philadelphia. 2 minutes for flashing.
They're
4-on-4.
calling them both. So no power play created. We'll go 4-on-4 when we return. 5:24 left in the third of a 2-2 tie in Game 2 on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
Philadelphia has always been about toughness, grit, and innovation, and your Flyers are no exception. That's why they skate stronger with NextGen Hyperbaric. Using cutting-edge hyperbaric oxygen therapy, NextGen helps players recover quicker, heal better, and maintain energy through the grind of the season. From training to game day, NextGen keeps athletes ready to perform at their best. Proud to support the Flyers, proud to support Philly, NextGen Hyperbaric, the future of recovery is here.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen. Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
WMMR.com, your online home for everything that rocks.
Join many of your favorite Flyers alumni for a 3-day hat trick of events at the second annual Flyers Alumni Charity Classic Weekend, June 13th through 15th. To learn more, visit FlyersAlumni.net.
5:24 left. There were penalties called, but a man aside to both Stankoven and Dan Vladar that will take Carolina's most dangerous goal scorer off the ice. But the Canes will send out Nick Ehlers, Sebastian Aho out here with Jacob Slavin and Shane Gostisbehere. For the Flyers, it's Ristolainen with Christian Dvorak, Trevor Zegras, and Travis Sanheim. And the Flyers control Here's Sanheim skating to the Carolina line. Got in, but didn't get it in deep. Ehlers knocked it off his stick. And Aho starts out. Jacob Slavin behind his own goal. Gives it to Gostisbehere. 4-on-4. Here's Ehlers with good speed. Cutting across the middle at center ice to the Flyer line. Goes back to the right circle. He laid it out in front. Slavin jumped in. Couldn't get a stick on that. Controlled by the Flyers in. Headed the other way is Travis Zegras. Zegras waiting for Sanheim to drive the net. In front. And Sanheim couldn't get his stick on it. And then he was drilled by the goaltender Freddie Anderson. And Anderson just lowered the shoulder and lowered the boom.
Yeah, he got his hand up there, protected himself from this time. Sanheim popped that up quick. Well,
they still have not driven the net. I think you got to get body on Anderson. Headed the other way. Here's Seth Jarvis trying to step around a man, and he was stripped of the puck. Blake turned into the circle. Gives it up. Jarvis near side. One-timer, and Vladar got over and made that save on Will Carrier. It's up over the glass in a corner and on a play.
Well, this is a good shot, and you can see Carolina loves to move in that offensive zone. Jackson Blake wheeling around, gets that shot, gets that pass over. Vladar has to fight this one off. This one goes off the shaft of his stick, and he's looking behind him a little bit.
29 saves for Dan Vladar. 17 saves for Freddie Anderson. Face-off back in the circle to the left of the Flyer goal. 2-2 the score. Just over 4 minutes in regulation time. Couturier waiting for the draw against Jordan Staal. Again, Sean Couturier's been great in these playoffs. 73% on faceoffs. He wins another key one here. Drysdale cuts in front of his own net and then turned back behind the goal. Watched by Jordan Staal. Drysdale now out of the far corner gets it ahead, and here's Konechny at center right. So lead pass in behind the defense. Couturier's in, took a shot, saved by Anderson. No rebound as the Flyers try to bat it through. And Sean Couturier continues to be the most dangerous Flyer.
Oh, yeah, and you can hear him from up here call for that puck from Travis Konechny. And it's a nice shot gotten off by the captain, Sean Couturier, and what a game he's had tonight. Konechny's still down there trying to get in some guys' kitchens.
Couturier's got his first goal of the playoffs tonight. He's played already over 18 minutes. 4 shots leads the Flyers. He's 69% in faceoffs. So after that save by Anderson, the faceoff will remain in the Kane end. 38 seconds remain on the 4-on-4. Couturier stays out with Konechny, Drysdale, and Cam York. First goal of the game scored by Drysdale in the power play. 7 goals by Flyer defensemen in these playoffs.
I like the adjustments made for tonight's game, Tim. Takes a lot of gusto to change all 4 lines and give a different dynamic.
On the draw, it's in behind the net. The Flyers got to it. Konechny kicked it, or got it kicked to him by Couturier. Back to the line it comes. Jamie Drysdale turns at the line. He's going to bring it out to center ice and regroup. Gives it up to Konechny, and Konechny back to Jamie Drysdale. It's actually York cutting across the middle. York hits the line, gives it back to Konechny on the left circle. Cut in front, lost control. The bouncing puck, and York unable to chop a backhand at the net. Taken up by the Canes. As Philadelphia will back out and change. Konechny delivers the hit on Slavin. Aho outlets, and waiting at the line, Nick Ehlers. Ehlers gives it up. Gostisbehere steps in, looking, shooting, and a blocker saved by Vladar. Into the left corner, Aho behind the net. Svechnikov and Taylor Hall out there, but the Flyers come away and get it out at center ice. Up the middle comes Noah Cates. Shoveled it left wing. Michkov shot, handled by Anderson. From there, that wasn't dangerous, but Anderson will cover it, and you get a whistle and a face-off in the offensive zone.
Well, back to 5-on-5 now. You've got Noah Cates, Michkov, and Forster on the ice. They haven't seen the ice as a line together much tonight.
Yeah, as you said earlier, with all the penalties, it's hard to get any flow. Cates on the face-off against Stankoven. Flyers unable to control that. That was Forster in the slot, and Carolina brings it the other way. They lift it in deep into the left wing corner. Ristolainen ridden into the unboards there by Taylor Hall. Sanheim comes to clean house. Leaves it up the left wing, and Cates unable to drive it in. Comes right back to Tyson Forster, and Forster sidestepped the man to the line, but the Canes control. Quickly, headman up the left wing. Taylor Hall late in the shift. He'll fire it hard around. York behind the net. Carolina almost got to that puck first. Steered to the corner, and Porter Martone heads up ice. Martone with Bump and Barkey. They hit the line. Bump on the left side. Unable to thread that pass to Martone. Knocked down by Chatfield on a great play and lifted back into the Philadelphia zone. Flyers make a change. 2:22 on the clock here in the third period. Pretty much next goal wins. Martone had it knocked off of his stick. They drive it in deep. Philadelphia regroups behind their own net. Jamie Drysdale. Drysdale off the glass past the ear of Ristolainen. Race for the puck back into the Kane end. Chatfield gets there for Aho, and he gets it to center ice. Martinook checked between the two benches, and Zegras sends it back in deep. Carolina back for that. Slavin around. It deflects out the center ice. Ristolainen gives it to Christian Dvorak, but Dvorak was upended, lost control, and Carolina just took it away. Coming back in, Chatfield's got a man going to the net, and driving the crease was Sebastian Aho. That's what the Canes have done that the Flyers have not done. Drive hard to the net.
Yeah, it shouldn't be Vladar throwing his blocker to protect himself in there. They got to stop those drives to the net.
Zegras at the line. His pass deflected away from Konechny. Look out, Carolina on the attack. Jarvis over the line, dropped it to Jordan Stahl. He'll swing in behind the net. Gives it up in the far corner. The Canes back it out to the middle point. Riley shot. Oh, deflected just wide of the net in the high slot. Philadelphia again fails to clear. Riley hammers it in behind the net. York in the far corner can't get it up the boards. He pokes it in behind his own goal, though, and Konechny late in a shift will hoist that puck into the air back to the Kane line. Final minute of play here in the third period. It's glove from one Kane to another and blown dead with 56 seconds to play.
Well, mistake-free hockey. That's what it's going to take the rest of the way in here. Flyers are doing a good job. Defensively, they're keeping things to the outside, but they've got to do a better job protecting the front of that net for Dan Vladar.
Vladar and Couturier, I think, have been especially the two standouts for the Flyers in this game.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Captain Couturier has made a statement game tonight. They needed this game. They needed some leadership, and they had a good start. That was the main thing. Sean Couturier, they kind of led the charge.
He's been physical throughout these playoffs. He has any more hits, they're going to call him Captain Crunch. Sanheim back behind his own goal. Jams it around the wall, and Grunstrom flipped it back into the Kane end, creating a race for the puck. Canes get there, and Walker hard around, tipped into the neutral zone. Tipped right to a Flyer, and Forster sends it back into the Kane line. Walker behind his own net, plays it past Couturier. Jackson Blake into the middle. Stankoven hits the Flyer line up the left wing. Turned away from Couturier's pressure and lays it in behind the net. The Karam's off the end wall. Blake feet into the puck, and Cam York's got it for the Flyers. And lifted back to the Carolina line. A bouncing puck picked up by Alex Bump. Bump turned, took a shot. It was blocked. Bump gives it up. Coming late. Cates. His shot deflected by Hall. High into the air. Up over the glass and out of play. A great play by the veteran Taylor Hall.
Taylor Hall is just in the right position there. Nice ladder play to Noah Cates coming downhill by Bump on entry. And that's that flip play. It'll work to your advantage. Taylor Hall goes down with a great shot block.
Good effort by Alex Bump to keep that play alive and create a scoring chance for Noah Cates. But he just couldn't get the shot through.
This is a nice little play by Noah. He goes down, and it's a kick save and a beauty. Keeps it out with his toe of his skate.
5.5 seconds left in the third period. Game 2, Flyers trying to even the series at a game apiece and steal home ice advantage away from the Canes. With games 3 and 4 in Philadelphia this week. Game 3 Thursday at 8 o'clock. And game 4 Saturday at 6. Can the Flyers go home having split the first 2 games on the road? Well, they're going to take the face-off, I think, out of the Kane zone after an argument. No, they're going to keep it in this right circle. Couturier will try to win it back to Jamie Drysdale. Circle to the right of Freddie Anderson. And Couturier on the draw, trying to kick it back, couldn't do that. It goes to the corner. Martone fights for control, but the horn will sound. The third period comes to an end, and game 2 will go to overtime after the scrum gets a little more chippy at the end of the third period. Sticks come up high, but the two teams will go to their respective rooms, all knotted at 2.
Not a bad third period. Again, Flyers staying stingy, not giving much up. But it's a tie game, and we're going to overtime. This is the first one. It's just going to get longer and longer, Timmy.
Well, we said both teams are going to be talking the same line of thought. If not for the power play, this game would have ended either way. Both teams 1 for 6 with the man advantage, so not really able to take advantage fully. And the two teams skate off as we await the start of overtime. Game 2, all even at 2 after 3. We'll take the break. We'll send it back. Jason Martinez, Brian Smith will take you through this intermission after these words on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Philadelphia Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
When everyone has a different craving, Wegmans Meals to Go has it all. All right now, all in one delivery. Pizza with your family's favorite toppings. A delicious sub made the way you love. Fresh sushi for the whole group, and so much more. It's how everybody gets a delicious meal they'll love. Order on the Meals to Go app or at mealstogo.com to make everyone happy. Wegmans Meals to Go. All your favorite meals, all in one delivery.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Ready to plan a weekend the whole family can get behind? Find your retreat in Valley Forge and Montgomery County, just outside Philadelphia. From outdoor adventures and hands-on attractions to charming downtowns, there's something for everyone to explore together. As America's 250th birthday approaches, discover the stories that shaped our nation and make a few of your own along the way. Start planning your retreat at valleyforge.org.
Xfinity tech support. I can't get Jurassic Park back online without... But no worries. Our Wi-Fi boosted mobile keeps you connected in all kinds of places.
Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
Hey Flyers fans, elevate your Xfinity Mobile Arena experience with a membership at Prime Point Social. With a unique in-venue dining experience, a curated Philadelphia-inspired culinary program, and an intimate atmosphere overlooking all the action, Prime Point Social is the place to be this season. As a Prime Point Social member, you have access to an array of amenities and exclusive opportunities. Take your game day experience to the next level with a membership that fits your entertainment needs. For more information on how to become a Flyers Prime Point Social member, give us a call today at 215-218-7825.
Now, back to the Flyers Intermission Report. Here's Jason Martinez and Brian Smith.
Flyers, the Carolina Hurricanes headed to overtime, all tied up at 2 after regulation play here in Game 2 of this second round series between the clubs. Flyers will head back home after this one, whenever that is, and they're going to get ready for Game 3 at Xfinity Mobile Arena on Thursday night. Game 4 is Saturday night. The Thursday night game starts at 8. Saturday's game is at 6. And then we'll see what happens from there. But the Philadelphia Flyers looking to steal one here tonight in Raleigh, and they are in a position to do so if they can come up with an overtime goal. And Jason, it was going to be, I think, always going to be the longest third period that you can imagine, and it was going to be a tough, tough little task there, I think, to keep Carolina off the board the way they were buzzing. They get that equalizer, but that's all they get is the equalizer, so it gives the Flyers a chance here in overtime to find a hero.
Yeah, and who's it going to be? We had game, game 6 against, what was the overtime game? Why can't I remember?
Game 6, yeah.
Game 6, yeah. You have that game scoreless into overtime, and Cam York gets the game winner, a guy that you probably didn't have on your top 3 picks of a Flyer to end that game, yet he did, and behind the goaltending of Dan Vladar, and you got to have somebody step up and do it tonight once again. Here in overtime, they get this series tied at 1 and come back home feeling pretty good about where you are in the series. A couple of things to really keep in mind in this overtime. First of all, the intermission's a little bit shorter, so a little less time to recover by 3 minutes. But the big key is do not overextend your shifts. They do shift ends, so it is a long change period in overtime. They'll go back if we go to a second overtime, and I'm not hoping or predicting we are, but even though it is the anniversary, May 4th May 5th too, of the 5 overtime game 26 years ago. I can't believe that was 26 years ago, but just don't get caught out there with dead legs. Flyers didn't have much rest between rounds. Carolina did, but both teams in the same boat here. Just don't get caught out there with dead legs, not against this team.
May 4th has been a lucky date in Flyers lore. They're 3-0 on that date. They got an overtime win in 1987 from Milka Sinisalo, but the two that are a little bit more well-known among Flyers fans are the 2005 overtime game that took 92 minutes of overtime to decide before Keith Primo ended it at about 2:20 a.m. And then the other one was the Jeremy Roenick goal against the Toronto Maple Leafs. That only took about 7.5 minutes to score that one. That was in 2004. So those are the big
great celebration on that one too.
I saw he's been talking about that this week on social media. He said that was, I think he said it was his favorite goal he ever scored. I don't know if I heard that right.
It was against Toronto,
but it was in Toronto. That had a lot to do with it. And again, it's one of those situations where he was in a place he loved to play. He goes tippy-toe down the boards like a ballet dancer after he scored that goal. And
grinning ear to ear.
Then the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't win another playoff series for like 20 years after that, I believe. Doesn't look like one's coming in their near future after today. But, again, it's an exciting time here. And, again, for the Flyers, they have to be opportunistic, right? They're going to deal with a Carolina team that's probably not going to change a whole lot about how the way these first 3 periods have gone. And so when those opportunities get there, hit the net, look for rebounds, try to create some of that traffic. Try to do all the things that you wanted to do coming into this game, the things that you did in the very beginning that had them up 2-0 5 minutes in.
Yeah, really. I mean, the only thing that kind of changes is just a high level of awareness situationally, especially with that long change. If you can't obtain the zone with possession, you chip it, dump it deep, and get off and get fresh legs out there. The team that kind of gets caught in that usually is the one that ends up losing in an overtime game in the playoffs because they get caught out there, and the other team's opportunistic, especially if it opens up and gets pretty wide open for a little bit, which Carolina would love. And that's the way they play. They give up odd man rushes and they possess the puck. Both of these goaltenders are rather surly after 60 minutes of play.
I was on my way downstairs. Did Vladar at least get his money's worth?
No, the cross-check was kind of lame. To me, It wasn't even a cross-check. It was him trying to push Stankoven, who was, as I mentioned in the pregame show, if you fall into the goalie, take your good old time.
Yeah, they did him for a slash.
Up, and he was taking his time, and it ended up calling him for it. But, and the Canes are going to keep doing that. They know it's irritating to the goaltender, and you saw Freddie Anderson deliver a hit in that period as well on one of the Flyers. I'm trying to think it wasn't. It might have been Martone or somebody. No, it was Sanheim on that rush opportunity with Zegras. And, both teams crashing the net, although the Canes crashing it more. I'd like to see the Flyers keep doing that because you know Freddie Anderson's not going to enjoy it as much as Dan Vladar is not enjoying it at his end right now. So we'll keep an eye on that here. But again, you don't want to take a penalty either by crashing into the goal. These refs, I'll tell you, they have not been shy about calling penalties, which has really affected the flow of the bench in this game.
Yeah.
Flyers got a couple guys, including Alex Bump, who hasn't played more than 9 minutes.
Right. Yeah, and it's, again, it's a situation in overtime. I don't know if they're going to change how they do that, but Flyers can get into some
I wish they
flow,
could
maybe.
let us know.
Yeah, I can go ask them. I don't know.
I mean, you're going to call it as tight as you did in regulation in overtime, because sometimes you don't know that,
Right, yeah. So, again, it's, again, I keep clinging to this overall hope here is that, again, we're pretty sure the Carolina Hurricanes are playing as well as they can play. The Flyers certainly have some room to improve here to find the top of their game. And, the hope is here that, again, this is the team that's now been through an overtime. That Pittsburgh game was the first overtime.
Yeah.
They've done this once. It was relatively recently. So it's not a new experience anymore, and that's got to play into their hands a little bit here.
Yeah, and Rick Tocchet will draw on that here at the intermission, and this is where guys got to dig deep and keep the decision-making process simple sometimes, limit your risk, and being in one of these, I think is a big thing. I really do. Having so many young guys in the lineup, an entire line of Barkey, Bump, and Martone. I thought Martone had a couple of good chances in that period as well.
Yep.
And he is definitely irritating Freddie Anderson, who barked at the referee for a solid 4 minutes after he had that collision with Martone when Martone had the good chance. But, hey, who's going to do it? We'll find out.
I love how that young line has buzzed all game long.
Me too.
I'd love to see it be one of those guys. Denver Barkey has been up in everybody's grill here this whole game. It seems like Alex Bump can just figure out a way to just thread the needle and sashay his way through. He's been one of the more successful guys, I think, in gaining the zone here tonight. So maybe it's that line that gets it.
Yeah, and he set up a good chance for Cates. And Taylor Hall made an old-school kick save and a beauty to deflect that over the glass. So we've had a couple of Sanheim with a great save, Taylor Hall with a great kick save, and Freddie Anderson and Dan Vladar doing all they can as well.
Well, let's wrap up this overtime edition of the Flyers Intermission Report when we come back in just a moment. Tim Saunders and Topadork have the overtime for you here at Lenovo Center in Raleigh after 3 periods of play. We're all tied up. Carolina and the Flyers tied at 2. Overtime is next here on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
Flyers hockey rocks on 93.3 WMMR.
I'm Kelly Munson, President and CEO of Independence Blue Cross. Playoff hockey is back in Philadelphia, and we know we can count on the orange and black to deliver passion, grit, and resilience on the ice. Off the ice, you can count on IBX to serve the people of our great city all year long. For more than 85 years, we've been here when you need us, and we're proud to be the official health insurance partner of the Flyers as they compete for the Stanley Cup. From one home team to another.
Let's go Flyers!
FW Webb for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. FW Webb supports all customers from one-van contractors to large facility operators. For planned projects, emergency jobs, or maintenance, FW Webb has what you need when and where you need it. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast. Visit FWWeb.com for a location near you.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Philadelphia. And our more than 70 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
Dear Savvy, Toyota says you can have it all. With the Camry, the Corolla, and the Corolla Cross. You've got the tech, you've got the drive, and you've got Toyota value that spells affordable. You ready? Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is Flyers hockey on 93.3 WMMR Philadelphia. Everything that rocks.
trying to tie this series and send it back to Philadelphia, tied at a game apiece. The Flyers have forced the Carolina Hurricanes into overtime in Game 2, as the Flyers and Canes are still even. 2 goals apiece, Drysdale and Couturier for the Flyers, Nick Eaters and Seth Jarvis for Carolina. And overtime presented by FW Webb. We are Webb. We've got it. Well, let's hope the Flyers have got it, Fridge, here in OT.
Yeah, they got to seize the moment. It is a very crucial thing to start with a split in any series, and the Flyers are having an opportunity here in overtime to do that. I like the way that they played tonight, Tim. They've come out with a purpose. They wanted to have a good start. They got that in the bag. And then it's been stingy hockey, a lot of penalties in this game for both teams.
Is it not more often than not a greasy goal? Don't you have to make the decision that it's going to end that way and that you have to play accordingly?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the way they're going to be doing it. This is going to be a greasy road win as we head into overtime.
Both teams 1 for 6 on the power play. Flyers would just as soon this ends 5-on-5. Christian Dvorak comes in to take the face-off against Jordan Staal. Flyers go right to left here in overtime. The Canes control, and overtime has started as Chatfield gets it in deep, thrown wide of the net. They're caromed off the back of the cage. Flyers Trevor Zegras in the corner with a current attempt knocked down by Chatfield. And Carolina keeps it alive in the Philadelphia zone. Rolled to the far corner. Staal gives it up. They get it to the point. A shot through the crease and just wide of the net. Zegras again unable to win a battle with Chatfield as it's rolled in behind the goal. Now on the loose puck, swatted free. Jamie Drysdale gets it to Zegras, and he'll lift that puck back into the Kane end. Konechny trying to get through traffic. He was upended. Anderson clears himself up the right wing, and it's tipped away from Seth Jarvis. Vladar out of the net will settle it for Sanheim. Quickly up the left wing, it bounces over the stick of Cates, and the Canes unable to get it in deep. Here's Matvei Michkov on the left wing. Michkov will throw it at the net. A glove save by Anderson, and he'll keep the play alive. Here's Taylor Hall outletting. Cross-ice pass at center, and Blake trying to drive it in. Blake hits into the left wing corner. Stankoven able to turn away from Cates. Feeds out to the blue line. Keandre Miller back to the net, wide of the goal. And from the near side, Hall unable to get a bad angle shot to the net. Hall bumped by Sanheim. The puck on the wall, and Michkov is able to backhand it down the ice. No icing here. So Philadelphia will make a change. Canes start out from behind their own goal, waiting for a change to be completed on their end. Nick Eaters is out here with Sebastian Aho and Jordan Martinook. And now it's Svechnikov, Aho, and Martinook. Here's Aho at center ice. Lays it up the near side. Dumped in deep by Mike Riley. And back for that Jamie Drysdale. He's checked. The turnover, and Martinook unable to feed in front. Take it away with the Flyers, but they can't clear. And the Canes throw it in deep again. Svechnikov to the net, and a good stick by Vladar broke that up as Carolina's got it back out the center. Lifted back in, turning to play that Jamie Drysdale. Hard around behind his own net, but right to a Kane. Carolina can't keep it in. Kicked the other way by Porter Martone, but he's unable to chase it down.
A few scary moments there in the defensive zone. Flyers D got to move that puck with authority, tape to tape.
That's his spear behind his own net. He's watched there by Luke Glendening. Glendening out with Grundstrom and Couturier. They set up the second Flyer goal. Into the middle, turned over. Andre gave it to Couturier, but he couldn't complete a pass, and lifted in deep by the Canes the other way. Nick Cedar on the end boards. He's checked by Carrier. Carrier comes out of the corner, sends it out in front. The bouncing puck right on, and Vladar made a save and dives out and covers it with the glove. Maybe his biggest save of the game at the most important time here in OT.
Vladar just in butterfly position, stops it twice here. First shot and the rebound, and then covers it up right away. He's been sharp when he's been called upon tonight, Tim. Vladar.
Couturier will come out with Travis Konechny and Christian Dvorak. Again, Sean Couturier in this game has been a pillar of strength for the Flyers. 65% on draws. Circle to the left of the Flyer net. Carolina bats it back left point. thrown to the goal and tipped just wide of the net by Jarvis. Stuffed back in front, but here's Philadelphia breaking the other way now. Christian Dvorak at center ice. He'll throw it in on goal. Blocked into the corner by Freddie Anderson and lifted quickly out to center ice. Sent in deep by Seth Jarvis. Jarvis chases it down. Into the corner with Ristolainen. Behind the goal, Jordan Stahl. He'll stub it back in to the left point. And a shot to the net. Hit a body in front. Popped into the air. The Flyers get to it but can't clear. And Riley drives it back across into the far corner. Ristolainen up the wall. Tipped by Zegras into the middle. And the Flyers cross-ice pass broken up by the Canes. Their back pressure is like no other team in the NHL. And it's driven into the end of the Flyer bench out of play. That'll bring a whistle and a face-off at center. That's really, Fridge, what makes Carolina so tough is they come back as hard as they go up the ice.
Yeah, they back pressure hard. They use their speed and work ethic to their advantage on both sides. They play a 200-foot game. There's still some plays through the neutral zone. If the Flyers are a little cleaner on execution, they'd be getting through. But again, that back pressure causing a lot of problems.
From center ice, Cam York sends it in, but that'll climb the glass into the netting. That'll bring a whistle and a face-off right back into the neutral zone. Vladar has been outstanding again as the Flyers have been outshot 37-24. That tip by Seth Jarvis moments ago just went wide of the cage. And Carolina will send it in deep again. Taylor Hall in the left wing corner. Bats it in on the end wall. Blake ridden into the boards there by Cam York. The loose puck, Michkov corrals that, and he'll lay it up the right wing, but Forster didn't get there. Michkov does. He's got to stop as Forster got back out onside and then sent it in deep. Philadelphia will get to the bench, and they'll get fresh legs out. And changes become so important here in overtime. It's Konechny out with Denver Barkey and Alex Bump. Sent in deep by the Canes. Behind the net, played to the near wall. Konechny puts a body on Blake, and Philadelphia lifts it out at center. Clubbed down by Bump. He's got two men to beat. Carries into the Kane end and trying to force his way in front, but taken away by Jacob Slavin. At center ice, knocked out of the air by Philadelphia, and backhanded in by Ristolainen. In after it, Bump rides his man into the unboards. Konechny is back there as well. He tries to spin free with that puck behind the Carolina goal and can't do it. Good forecheck by the Flyers. Kept alive. Here's Barkey in front and just unable to get that pass to Konechny. Broken up and Carolina able to clear.
Barkey's got to shoot that puck in that situation.
Here comes Carolina right back in. Svechnikov steps around, or at least threatened to go by the Flyer York, and he was poke checked, and the Canes play at the center ice themselves. Wound back in on the near corner, hopped over the stick of the Flyer defenseman, Cam York, but out into the middle. Here comes Alex Bump, and Bump will get it in deep. That young Flyer line will go to the bench to change. Couturier in after it, trying to get it to Grunstrom in the corner. He'll knock down a clearing attempt. Another big hit by Couturier into the goal mouth and sticked away by Anderson. Here comes Carolina on the attack. They'll turn it over at center ice, though, and Grunstrom sends it right back in. Riley behind his own goal, tipped around to the far boards. Martinook unable to clear the zone. Emil Andre kept it alive. Now the loose puck into the right circle. A shot fired right through the crease by Denver Barkey. It's actually Glenn Denning. Glenn Denning had a deflection in front that went wide, and Carolina is able to lift it out of danger.
Real good shift by the fourth line for the Flyers.
They'll go to the bench to change as the Flyers send it in deep again. Porter Martone out there now with Trevor Zegras and Christian Dvorak. Sanheim into the middle. Zegras gets it right wing. Martone back in front, knocked out of the air, but Anderson kept it out. Ristolainen into the right wing corner. Zegras on the end wall. Leaned on by Gostisbehere as they scrum for the puck. Squirts out. Martone can't make a pass. It's broken up. Zegras in the corner, looking for skating room behind the net. Trevor Zegras comes over to the near half wall. Leaves it down low. Martone drags it out into the high slot and threw it at the net and deflected off a body to the corner. The Canes can't get there to clear. Kept in by Ristolainen. Zegras in the left wing circle. Down low in front and deflected off of Sanheim's stick, and Anderson got a piece of that. Puck comes back to him. He'll cover it there.
What a shift by the Philadelphia Flyers in the offensive zone. Trevor Zegras, Ristolainen pinching it at the right time. Great boys in the offensive zone, and Sanheim with a nice backdoor play.
We have a Kane penalty for hooking here in overtime, and the Flyers are about to get their 7th power play chance of this game. It's a hooking penalty on the Kane as Porter Martone had Zegras going in front. Philadelphia 1 for 6 on the man advantage, and here comes their 7th chance.
Tim, I'm still trying to figure out where the hook was, but it doesn't matter. The Flyers are going on the power play.
Hey, don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions. That's right.
Svechnikov has taken his 3rd penalty in this game, though, so he could end up being the GOAT.
I think this was Porter Martone coming through the crease, actually.
Couturier on the draw, unable to win it cleanly, and the Canes win it and clear all the way down. Vladar pushes it ahead to Jamie Drysdale, and the Flyers start out with a man advantage. This game would have been over long ago had their power play clicked. Here's Zegras at the line. Left wing pass. Forster down the boards. Stripped to the puck without a stick. Martineau can't clear. They scramble the puck at the line and kept in. Drysdale lifts it into the left wing corner. Broken stick onto the ice. The Flyer is upended. Zegras behind the net. Unable to play it away from Jordan Staal. It comes right point. Drysdale goes point to point. Konechny covering the near side. Back across to Jamie Drysdale. Forster goes in front. Back to the line. Drysdale shot through. And a save by Anderson. Rebound control by Konechny. Back center point. Drysdale again. Couldn't get it to the net. Off the end wall. Chatfield. Checked by 2 Flyers and coming away with the loose puck. Jacob Slavin gets the red line and dumped it in. Flyers in no particular hurry as power play time's getting away. They got a minute left. Drysdale from the side of his own goal will give it up and go to the bench to change. Here comes Porter Martone through center. He'll give it to Barkey. Left wing. Dvorak squeezes through. Back in front. Here's Michkov with a shot deflected wide of the net. Breaking that up was Keandre Miller. Back in front. Martone, a centering pass, and he missed Barkey with that. Shoot the puck, boys. It's lifted back into the Philadelphia zone.
Yeah, the extra passes are being made. Michkov is open back door, but take that shot, kiddos. Got to get those shots through.
It's the line and drops it for Barkey. Barkey at center, gave it to Martone. Made a move at the line, carried in, lost it off the skate of a man, and the Canes are able to drive it down. 18 seconds left in this 7th Flyer power play. Ristolainen from behind his own net. He'll find York up the left side, and from center ice, he'll wind it in. Bump in after it. Controlled down the wall, or at least knocked away from Carl Grundstrom. Jankowski jammed it in behind his own goal. Getting back there is Chatfield, and out of the box, Svechnikov makes the right wing pass and dumped in by the Canes. Here's Travis Sanheim. Whipped it hard around in his own zone. To center ice, 5-on-5. Couturier will lift that puck across into the far corner. Grundstrom got there first. Outnumbered him behind the net, though. And the Canes get it to the near wall. Can't clear. Konechny, or Couturier, just missed Grundstrom at the side of the net. The Canes will use the glass to clear. Again, they take a run at Couturier. Just out of the reach of Taylor Hall. He finally settles it, but can't make a pass back to Stankoven.
That was a real big hit by Couturier on Stankoven.
Bouncing puck just inside the Carolina blue line, settled by Mike Riley. Riley gets it over to Gostisbehere, again to Riley, and Riley headmans up the right wing. Blake at center, skips it across into the far corner. Good position there by the Flyer defenseman Drysdale. That'll allow Zegras to skate the center. He hits the line. Gives it up left side to Dvorak. Back to Zegras. Zegras threw it at the net. It's sticked away by Anderson. Came right back to him. And he's able to close the pads and get it blown dead with 9:35 gone in OT.
Well, the pace is high, Tim. Both teams executing pretty good plays coming through the neutral zone. I think the Flyers got a little bit of the momentum on their side right now. But again, you see that habit as it starts to creep into the Flyers game, that extra pass. It's going to be an empty net goal, yeah, but sometimes just take that shot. A few times in the slot, the Flyers are looking for the extra pass.
I guarantee you, Talk's going to be talking about having more of a shooter's mentality after this game and going to the net.
I agree with that. I think he was talking about that actually in between games as well.
Puck at the line. Carolina gets it to center. Flipped up the boards by Svechnikov. Chased it down to the right wing corner. Turned, threw it across in front. That climbed the glass. At the line, it's held in. Miller bounces it off of Sebastian Aho. Went to the corner as Svechnikov was drilled to the ice. And Philadelphia lugs it the other way. Forster stepped by one man. Drilled at the line as he was hit by Walker, or Sean Walker. And Carolina will lift it in deep behind the Philadelphia net. Back for that Drysdale. Turned away from Jarvis. Martone up the right wing. Flat-footed, but he makes the play across center ice and a collision in the neutral zone. Crowd wanted a penalty as Nick Itters was taken out. They don't get that call. Now a bouncing puck. Chased down by Jordan Stoll in the Philadelphia end before he's erased by Drysdale. Philadelphia unable to play it to clear the zone. Behind the net, Jordan out of the corner. Nick Eaters plays it out left point. Jacob Slavin winds it in behind the net. Played away by Drysdale into the corner. Bump protects the puck back to his defenseman Drysdale. He's pinched off that puck by Jordan Stoll. It's loose and Drysdale feeds him behind his own goal. York will play it up the near boards and cleared to center. Chased down to the Carolina line. Angled to the near boards and over skating it was bumped. And the Canes lifted high into the air to center. Couturier had it bounce in front of his bench. Sidesteps a man. Carried it over the line. Dropped it to bump. That should be too many men on the ice. And they don't get that call.
Wow.
Boy, the Flyers got away with one. Chatfield in behind the net. Turned in behind the goal by Ristolainen. Flyers outnumber the Canes back there, though. Risto recover in the corner. He had it knocked away from him by Jackson Blake, and then he erases Blake on a hit. Puck goes back left point. Keandre Miller gives it up. Here's Sean Walker with a shot off the glove of Vladar. It's free in front. Couturier will lift it back in out to center. Leaping in the air and putting it back in, Miller. And Carolina will go to change as Philadelphia controls deep. York up the near boards, and he turned it over to Eric Robinson. Robinson knocked down the clearing attempt. Getting free is Carrier, but they're going to say it was gloved from one Cane to another. The Carolina faithful are less than happy, but the play is whistled down.
Yeah, the pressure comes back the other way.
With 8:07 left here in overtime, they'll bring the shovels out to do a scrape, and the two teams will get a chance to catch their breath. Fridge, the Canes just keep coming with that pressure. Although the Flyers have had the better of it in overtime, they've had 9 shots in overtime. The Canes only 2.
Yeah, a little bit of panic with that pressure starting to come into the Philadelphia Flyers defensive game. Need to make a little bit stronger plays breaking out.
Walker had traffic in front of the net. He was able to get a shot through that forced Vladar to make a save. Denver Barkey dishes it over to Travis Konechny, and the Canes got a stick on that. I think the Flyers have given up a few shot opportunities in this game, though.
Michkov as well. He had a great shot there, too. Hit the shaft of a stick that was just laying on the ice.
Philadelphia has won 6 of their last 7 overtime games. They have a 40-38 record in playoff overtimes. The Canes are 33-23. Both these two teams have been to overtime once in these playoffs, and both teams won that overtime game.
Well, the sense of urgency to split this home series for the Philadelphia Flyers is peak. They got to get this win.
Two coaches both look calm on the outside. On the inside, you know that's not the case.
Yeah, Rod Brendamore and Rick Tocchet, epitomes of work in the NHL.
Both have been through these battles before. Flyers are going to huddle just inside their own blue line as Zegras kind of pulls everybody together. 8:07 left here in the first overtime. It's going to be Zegras with Konechny and Dvorak, York and Drysdale. And the Canes control at center ice. And lifted in by Jacob Slavin. That bounces right on goal, and Vladar will cover it there, but that creates an offensive faceoff for the Canes.
Almost like they wanted it that way, huh, Tim?
We'll see if the Flyers make a change here. They were fresh when they came off of that last faceoff. Now it looks like Couturier is half over the bench, like he wants to come out for this draw, and they don't get that change made. I think the Flyers were trying. So Dvorak will stand in against Jordan Staal. Circle to the left of the Flyer net. 2-2 the score in overtime with 8 minutes to go in the first OT. Still waiting for the faceoff. Canes win it cleanly. Off the draw, thrown to the net. Deflected by the stick of Vladar up over the goal. Zegras can't clear. Now Drysdale is going to duck back behind his own net. And fire it up the right wing. That goes by Konechny. That'll be an icing called against Philadelphia. And the pressure that the Canes apply forces teams to ice the puck. No team has the puck iced against them more than the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, they force teams because of that pressure, but Instead of turning back, you got to start moving up the ice. If you turn back, that plays right into their system. And then they just jump on that player. And you don't have a choice except to send it down the ice.
Flyers win this face-off quickly up the left wing. Zegras got to it, flipped it back into the middle, but that's snuffed out by Jordan Martinook, and he'll turn it back into the Philadelphia zone as the Flyers threaten to break up the ice. The Canes thwarted that. Laid into the right wing corner. Sean Walker down low behind the net. Martinook gives it to Svechnikov. Back to Martinook. He plays it off his skate. Fired it hard around behind the goal and controlled there. Sebastian Aho turned away from Dvorak. Dvorak lost his stick. Aho turned it to the line. Keandre Miller looking for a shooting lane. Gave it back to Aho at the line for Sean Walker. Walker cuts across into the left circle. Goes to the net with a shot and a save by Vladar. And he barely holds that off. Strong move by the former Flyer Sean Walker.
Well, that was the scariest moment. But how about the offense of Carolina? They know that the weak play is Dvorak. He's got no stick. So what do? They get it over to Gostisbehere, who's on that point. And he exposes Dvorak, who's got no stick. Makes a nice little play. This is a better save by Vladar at the end of that one. Flyers got to make cleaner plays. They're starting to give the puck away in their own zone. A little bit of panic is heading in.
Only one Flyer has a goal in overtime in the playoffs. That's Cam York in Game 6 against Pittsburgh. Here's the centering pass. Batted into the right wing corner. Svechnikov goes to work again. Leaves it on the end boards, and Carolina's Eric Robinson got free behind the net. Comes out a backhand wraparound, and he put it right through the crease and wide. Philadelphia's clearing attempt does bounce out at center ice. Now Couturier, left wing pass over the line. Glendening pulled up with a shot and fought off by Anderson. Couldn't hold it. The puck is still free, and Couturier looks in front and off a Kane stick. It goes right to Svechnikov. It's actually Jankowski, and he'll send it deep the other way. Emil Andre leaves on the end boards, and Couturier starts out. Sean Couturier finds Michkov up the left wing. Couturier was upended. Michkov curls back, finds some skating room. Now picks his way in. Flipped it weakly on goal, and an easy save by Freddie Anderson. He'll turn the puck over to Forrester. Back behind the net, Michkov. Michkov forced into the corner, leaves it in behind the goal. Cates pinned up against the end boards. The loose puck. Forrester gets it back to the corner. Michkov up top. Backing off a shot and just missing. The net was Jamie Drysdale. Michkov back to Drysdale. Drysdale threw it to the net, and he was looking for the Forrester tip. He couldn't get it to stick on that. Forrester turned back, base of the left circle. Flipped the backhand right across the goal mouth. Michkov in the backhand was stopped as Anderson on his hands and knees gets it covered.
That's the kind of shift we want from Matvei Michkov right there. Buzzing out there, protecting the puck, and bringing it to the net. A few good shots from this line. And the Flyers needed a good shift there. Generate some momentum in their favor. Matvei Michkov denied there in front by Anderson.
Flyers had Cates waiting for a puck in front of the net. He was stood up. Michkov in after that bouncing puck right in front of Freddie Anderson, but he got to it first. So it's Barkey out with Bump and Martone again. Face off in the Flyers circle. The Canes scramble for that. It's jammed free to Svechnikov, and he'll tip it back into the Philadelphia end. Sanheim wins the race there. Watched by Martinook. Played it hard around. Bump tipped it to center ice. The loose puck in the neutral zone, and Martone scoops it across the blue line, but to no one. And Svechnikov right comes back the other way for the Canes. His shot deflected wide by Vladar. Alex Bump on the left wing, out of his own zone, got it to center. Martone reaching for it. Bump upended, taken down, lost control. Svechnikov picks his way back in, put it through the skates of the defenseman, but he was unable to get by Travis Sanheim. Flyers head man up to Alex Bump up the right wing into the Kane end. He's late in the shift. Flyers trying to get a change made. Banded to Christian Dvorak. Dvorak was checked off that puck, and Canes have numbers the other way. Carolina at the Philadelphia line looked offside. It was a late whistle. Blows the play dead with just 4:51 left here in the first OT.
Oh boy, it's going back and forth, Tim. Back and forth hockey. Fighting for the space in the neutral zone, both teams. I don't think the refs are going to be making many calls here for the rest of this game. They seem to be putting the whistles away, letting the players determine how this game's going to end.
Jordan Stahl's been around the longest of anybody in this game, who's played 33, actually 32 overtime games in his career. He's scored 3 times. Dvorak in to take the draw. here against Taylor Hall. Now the Flyers get free. Konechny goes in. Konechny shoots wide of the net. He misses the goal. As it came to TK, he was in alone. Konechny on the end wall, trying to get it free for Christian Dvorak. Dvorak backs it into the corner. The Canes recover and bounce that puck back into the Philadelphia zone. Diving for that, Drysdale batted away from Nick Ehlers and pinches Ehlers off the puck. Dvorak's got it at center. Left wing pass, Konechny at the Carolina line. Sends it in deep. Dvorak in after it. Jammed it free on the unboard. Zegras tipped it for Konechny to the line. Cedars shot pinballed off a man right to Jankowski. And the Canes come back with numbers. At the line, it's picked up. Walker across and a bouncing puck. Ehlers couldn't get good wood on that. From down low, Ehlers back in front. Couturier comes back to help out defensively. Canes get it back to Nick Ehlers in the right wing corner. He's on the wall. His cross-ice pass, Couturier's stick, deflected out at center. Dawson Spear drives it back in. Both teams want to make a change. With under 3:50 left here in overtime, Cedar headmans got away from Carl Grundstrom. They scrum for it right in front of the penalty box, and Cedar lifts it into the air. Glove down, Grundstrom check at the Carolina line. Canes spin it back to Eric Robinson, and Robinson goes cross-ice. Off the stick, off the body of Sebastian Aho. He'll hammer it back in behind the net. Around to the near side, Walker can't hold the zone, and the Flyers force it to center. Carl Grundstrom now goes right wide. He's got Glendening on the far side of the Carolina blue line, sends it in behind the net. Couturier sheds a check. On the unboards, he fights for control behind the Carolina net. Grundstrom there as well. Reaching Michkov off the bench, but the Canes are able to find a hole. They'll take an icing here with just over 3 minutes to play in overtime.
Well, Flyers can get some fresh guys on the ice here and line up quickly. Try and get this draw made.
Yeah, you got a tired group of Canes out there. For the Flyers, it's Cates with Forster and Michkov, Ristolainen and Sanheim. Cates waiting for this faceoff in the near circle. This is a little like their previous overtime game ended when Cates won a draw and went to the front of the net on the Cam York goal. Steered back to the line. It's controlled by Ristolainen. Gave it to Sanheim. Near boards, missed Michkov. It goes in behind the net and jumped over the stick of Tyson Forster. The Canes are able to swat it down. That'll be another icing against Carolina with 2:51 on the clock.
Both same guys on the ice. I like Cates' chances on the draw. Wins the first one.
See if the Flyers make a change here. Rick Tocchet, showing no indication he's going to do it. It'll be Cates again to take the faceoff circle to the left of the Carolina net. On the draw, it's controlled by Carolina and lifted. Walker couldn't clear that. Hit a Flyer. Fighting for it is Tyson Forster. They get it up the boards at the line. Sanheim holds it in to Michkov, who spins it in behind the net. Forster goes back to get that, but played away. Ristolainen sealed that far wall. Turned in the corner as the Flyers get one change made. Off the bench comes Christian Dvorak by the side of the net. Freddie Anderson reached around with the glove and gloved it with 2:27 on the clock in the first OT.
Well, he just grabbed that one right out of the air. Ristolainen just tried to flip one in on Anderson, catch him off guard.
Flyers have done well, though, to keep this play, for the most part, in the Carolina zone the last few minutes. Flyers have outshot them 13-5 here in OT.
I think the one area that the Flyers have done pretty good in today is making sure that they try to spend some time in the defensive zone of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Off the draw, Cam Yorks goes by a man to the corner on the end wall, taken up by Slavin. Here's Konechny on the loose puck. Stuffs it in front. Drysdale shoots and it's saved by Anderson. No rebound for the Flyers to get to. The Canes got there and cleared away. Drysdale back to his own blue line. York headbands up that right wing. Zegras stepped in. He's got Dvorak going to the front of the net. Rolled it in behind the goal. Konechny fighting for the loose puck. It squirts free, but Chatfield's got room to bump it up that left side, and Jarvis sends it to the Philadelphia line. Hopped over the stick of a man. Flyers right back in on the attack. Konechny late in a shift. Zegras will make his way to the bench. TK can't get off, and the Canes turn out. Nick Ehlers sends it back. He dropped it to his own line. Dished in by Jordan Stahl, and the Canes get fresh legs as Vladar leaves it for Ristolainen. Quickly up the left wing. Check was bumped. He runs into a linesman as the Canes fire it back in. Ristolainen in behind his own goal on the left wing. Bump. Unable to make a play, but Sanheim will to center. Left wing pass, Martone had it just deflect away from him. And as Philadelphia backs out and get a change made, the Canes come out. Sean Walker at his own blue line, streaks to the fly line, gave it up on the left side, trying to drag it to the net. A shot by Taylor Hall. The loose puck, Hall scores. It bounces free, and Taylor Hall bats it home. His third goal of the playoffs, and the Canes win it in overtime. 26 years to the day after the Flyers won their 5 overtime thriller. The Canes get the better of them in Game 2 in OT. And Carolina takes a 2-game sit-on series lead. The Flyers will return home to try to turn this series around in Game 3 on Thursday.
Well, tough ending. A play at the net. It seems like Vladar has it. Puck pops loose and goes right on the tape. Or Taylor Hall, and he puts this one in. I think it was Taylor Hall that gets the game winner in overtime.
18:54 of overtime. So just a minute and 6 before the first time ends. Carolina ends it themselves. And the Flyers are now in a position they have to do something they've only done once in their history. Losing the first 2 on the road, the Flyers have got to win 4 of the next 5 to survive. Final score in Game 2. The Canes win it in overtime, 3-2. Stay tuned. Our post-game show is coming up. Brian Smith, Jason Martinez, when we return on the Philadelphia Flyers Broadcast Network.
This is Flyers Hockey on 93.3 WMMR.
9:40. The Vegas Golden Knights host the Anaheim Ducks at 9:30 p.m. Knights on Sirius 208, XM 219, and Internet 949. Ducks on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 920. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, channel 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on Sirius XM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, Sirius XM 92.
Former NHL head coach Iron Mike Keenan came on the morning skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Stellick for Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, and he was asked about the long Alexei Kovalev shift during his time in New York, and he shared his side of the story about the skilled offensive talent that was Kovalev.
The Alexei Kovalev shift. I've heard 7 minutes, I've heard 9 minutes. Hey, you stay out there, you kind of figure it out. Describe to us what went in